So I guess we are live now. Winks. Hi, welcome to the stream. So I guess I am visible and audible. Please confirm once if my sound is all good or not. And three people watching. Nice. Good evening, everyone. Today is a very important session and just a new beginning. I guess something wrong with the title, stream 1. Today is stream 10. So yes, there is a mistake in the title, no problem. So let me check once if my voice is all right or not. Okay, the sound is too sensitive. Uh, I should. Now it's fine, I guess. Let me just. It should be far less now. Okay, so if the voice is still, a bit loud, you can just decrease your device volume. So let's just begin. So today we will be starting. My name is Aishupadhyay, and we have in the afternoon session we have completed our Linux, all the Linux parts. So in afternoon session we have discussed about bash scripting, and today on a lot of requests and comments that I was receiving. So I should be starting C programming. I have given a poll and we should be starting C programming. So let's just start. It's not opening, could not open, archive not supported. Okay, I guess I need to get a PPT or get a PDF to just start the session. Uh, please wait while I am just export, download this PDF. Okay. Let me just hide my screen for once while I share the presentation so that we can start the session. All right. Close all. Let me just send it to my device. Mm, PDF C programming. Accept. Done. All right. So let's just begin the session. Where's the file saved? It's not on the desktop. I think it's in the downloads. Mm, where's CPDF? Uh, okay, open with this. So, let's just start. So today we will be beginning our new topic or our new series on C programming, and it's especially its importance in cybersecurity. I hope I am audible. Uh, Three people watching. Okay, so let's just start the session. So today we will be beginning our new journey towards C programming. So since it is a system level programming and most of the exploits are written in this, our whole Linux kernel is written in C programming. So we should be going a little bit deep in operating systems and how different programs work. So in order to do that, two languages are most important, that is C programming and assembly. So what's the agenda of today? So today we will be, so it's just random topics. So from Linux to machine itself. So firstly we have discussed Linux commands, and now we will be discussing the language that created this machine. So why C? Why we are learning C particularly? Why not Python? Why not any else programming language? C and cybersecurity connection, red team mindset, my plan ahead, what I am planning in future, what streams I will be taking in future, the vision behind this. So the journey so far, I have started with Linux. So we have already mastered the commands that that is used in while while you are hacking or something, while you are just crawling into a system or investigating a system or just doing random stuff. Everything is based on Linux commands, so we have already mastered that. So those who are new, they can refer to that stream or that playlist of Linux. So but now we will going deeper and beyond the tools. We will be just because most of the tools you have heard about in penetration testing, for example Nmap, the most famous tool, it is also built in C. So C isn't just a code, it's the heartbeat of every system we touch. So all the operating systems that you see today, Microsoft, Windows, Mac OS, Linux, all are written in C. So why C? So the foundation of most operating system, I should not say all the all the system is written in C, but the foundation of most operating systems such as Linux, there are different types of distros or Linux like Fedora, Red Hat, Kali, Parrot, Arch, Mint, Cent, many. And Windows, uh, that's pretty common. Mac OS, all breathe in C. So it's fast, it's close to hardware, and just like the real world of cybersecurity. So it teaches the control, memory, pointers, stacks, and system calls, the very veins of the computer. So the C programming is just familiar with the system. So if we know how to write codes in C, we can just instruct the system in a better way, and it will be it will be responding to us a little bit fast. So learning C is not just about writing programs; it's about understanding how the machine thinks. That's what exactly we aim to achieve. uh, let's see the C and cybersecurity connection. So we will not be wasting much time in this. We will directly jump into our uh, basics of C. We will be studying the history of programming, how C language was made and all, and what's the importance of C language in the current world. So exploit development begins with C and memory collide. Okay, reverse engineering, most binaries जो होती हैं that are disassembled in C like logic. Buffer overflow, shell code, privilege escalation. You don't need to get worry, and these all are rooted in C. Security tools, the most famous tools, Nmap, Metasploit framework, Hydra, Netcat, are written in or powered by C. So there's a way that if Python is the sword of automation, so Python is basically used in automation. So C is the forge where the sword was made. So C is the backbone of every C is the backbone of Python. So uh, the automation come itself from C. So that is why C programming language is important to us. So red team mindset, to break, one must first build. So what is our aim? To break into the system legally, ethically. We break into the system. So first we need to know how to build a system so that we can find the loopholes. So true red teamers don't just exploit; they understand what they are breaking. So, okay. So knowing C gives insight into how to exploit, how exploit happens, why mitigations work, where vulnerabilities hide. So if you know how you make a system, you also know what kind of vulnerabilities can be exploited. So that is our aim, why we are learning C programming language, why we are beginning this new series on C programming language. I think my sound is coming all right. Hunt Gaming, welcome to the stream, brother. So the sound is all right. So it's not just hacking, it's engineering chaos with precision. So you can't hack the unknown, you must first build the world you wish to conquer. So learning C live and raw. So I'm also, you can say I'm also new to C programming. I have not um, made or enough programs to master C. I will be mastering my C with you live and raw. So new YouTube series we are bringing, that is C programming from scratch for hackers and thinkers. Everyone can join irrespective of you are if you are in cybersecurity or not. We will learn C line by line, live with real time debugging and challenges. No fancy IDs, just terminal compiler curiosity, step by step from variables to vulnerabilities. So if someone who don't know how to download C programming, I have given some of the articles. I guess day before yesterday I have given some articles on the installation of C. That is why I have taken a 1 day break from streaming. So let's just begin to learn C programming. So the vision is C will be the bridge from programming to exploit development, from learning to mastery, from curiosity to creation. So if someone is new in new in programming, so he can also join, irrespective of whether he is in cybersecurity or not. We will be starting C from very basic, including the Hello World program. We will be not directly jumping in, making the vulnerabilities, exploit the vulnerabilities, or making exploits, or destroying the systems. We will be doing that later on. So thank you. Join me live. Learn C. Think like a hacker and code like one too. So let's just begin a session. Let me just split the terminal. We will be going to our traditional way of referring to a book. So this is a book of my, I guess, programming in C by, it's a third edition, Stephen G. Cochin. So we will be beginning from here. So what are the contents? So firstly is the introduction, some fundamentals, compiling and running a first program, variable, data type, arithmetic expression, programming, looping, making decisions, working with arrays, working with function, working with structures, character strings, pointers. This is the most important thing when we talk about exploiting operation on bits. This is also much importance, like if you ever heard about bit manipulation. So the preprocessor, more on data types, working with large programs, input and output operations in C, miscellaneous and advanced features, debugging programs, oriented programming. So let's just start. We will be beginning with the introduction, then some fundamentals. So today we'll be keeping the stream a bit short. Let's see how it goes. Then we will not be pre-deciding anything that we will be having stream of 2 hours. It's on the flow of the stream how it will be going. It can be of 4 hours, it can be of 2 hours, it can be of just 30 minutes. So let's just begin. We will be jumping directly to the introduction. So yes, so the C programming was pioneered by Dennis Ritchie at AT&T Bell. AT&T Bell Laboratories in the early 1970s. Okay, it's a much around 55 years old programming language. It was until late 90s, however, that this programming language began to gain widespread popularity and support. So this was because until that time, C compilers were not readily available for commercial use outside of Bell Laboratories. So I think Bell Laboratories was the same in which Linux was built. So initially, C's growth in popularity was also spurred, or in part by the equal, is not, if not faster, growth in popularity of the Unix operating system. So the the growth of the C programming language and the Unix operating system both grow simultaneously in the in the 1970s. So the operating system, which was developed by Bell Laboratory, had C as its standard programming language. In fact, will over 90% of the operating system is itself was written in C language. So that is why I'm insisting you to learn C programming. See how much important it has. So as a hacker, when you are exploiting a system, so you should be getting familiar. So the enormous success of IBM PC, though the very first PCs, and it looked alike soon made by MS-DOS. Early now it is Microsoft Windows. So the most popular environment for C language. So as C grew in popularity across different operating system, more and more vendors hopped on the bandwagon and started marketing their own C compilers. So earlier there was no compiler for C, so many street marketing their own C compilers at the early time. I don't know whether it is they are 100% working or not. Let's just see. So for the most part, their vision of C language was based on appendix found in the first C programming text. So the first C programming text was the C programming language by Brian Carringham and Dennis Ritchie. So unfortunately, this appendix did not provide a complete and an ambiguous definition of C, meaning that vendors were left to interpret. So C was not completely discovered, I should say. So some part of C was discovered, and it's still getting update. Everything is still getting update. Each and every programming language has daily updates. Even my Kali Linux has daily updates. So in the early 1980s, a need was seen to standardize the definition of C language. So it was C language was a bit scattered at that time in the 1980s, although it was made in 1970s. So the American National Standard Institute (ANSI) is the organization that handles such things. So in 1983, ANSI C committee called X3J11 was formed to standardize C. Okay, so they initiate this committee to standardize C so that it can be common for all. So they should not have their own version of C programming language. So in 1989, the committee's work was ratified, and in 1990, the first official ANSI standard definition of C was published. Okay, so it's a bit early, well, back in the days. So because C is used around the world, the International Standard Organization ISO. So I think it's quite boring to read the history, but we should be familiar with that. Because C is used around the world, the International Standard Organization ISO soon get involved. So they adopted the standard where it was called ISO IEC 989-1990. Since that time, additional changes have been made to the C language. So the most recent is ISO 9899-1999. It is the version of the language upon which the book is based. So C is a high level language, yet it provides capability that enables the user to get in close with the hardware and deal with. So if you if you talk about what is the most closest to the heart of the operating system, that is the assembly language. But it is the C is the, although it is a higher level language, but it's not exactly close to the heart of the operating system, but it is close to assembly language. So although syntax are different, we will be learning assembly language too. But C, I have started with C so that most of the guys can be familiar with the programming language. So this book provides to teach you how to program in C. It assumes no provide. So okay, so you should be, as I should be assuming that you should not have any exposure to the language and was designed. Okay, so you all need a simple operating system that can run and compile C. So no other thing is required, no past knowledge is required. So you can start whether you are in cybersecurity or not. If you want to C language, if you want to learn C language at general, you want to do DSA, you can join this. So I will cover the basics at least. So every feature of C language is treated in this text as each new feature is present. A small complete program example is usually provided to illustrate the feature. So let's just skip this. So these are the basic details of all the chapters, and we will be going directly to the chapter 2, that is some fundamentals. So I think we will be writing our first program here. Okay, so firstly they have given the introduction of programming and high level languages. So let's just directly jump to programming. What is programming? So computers are really very dumb machines indeed, because they do only what they are told to do. Okay, so computers are designed, they are dumb because we give them instruction and they do what we want them to do. So most computer systems perform their operations on a very primitive level. So for example, most computers know how to add one to a number, or how to test whether a number is equal to 0. So the sophistication of these basic operations usually does not go much further than that. Okay, so if you give the basic instruction to the computer, they can perform. Okay, so they, although we are living in a world where artificial intelligence, have been very famous, but still computers are referred to as dumb. So the basic operations of a computer system, from what is known as computer instruction set. To solve a problem using a computer, you must express the solution to the problem in terms of instructions of the particular computer. So a computer program is just a collection. So a computer program, what is a computer program? It is a collection of instructions. So we give a set of instruction, a proper set with step by step guidance, so that, because computer, we are assuming that computers are dumb system, dumb machine. So we are giving a set of instruction proper stepwise, how matlab, the system can work according to us in order to solve a problem. So this is what a computer program is. So these instructions would be expressed in the statement. I will not be taking much time to read this. So the approach or method that is used to solve the problem is known as algorithm. So you can get a basic definition of algorithm. So these instructions would be expressed in the statement of a particular computer language, such as Visual Basic, Java, C++, or C. So what are higher level languages? So when computers were first developed, the only way they could be programmed was in the terms of binary numbers. So that corresponded directly to the specific machine instructions and locations in the computer's memory. So the next technological software advances occur in the development of assembly language. Okay, so assembly language is the most closest to the operating system. It is much it is I should not say it is much faster, but it is the fastest programming language, assembly. So because the computer understands directly in assembly, the code you write, it converts in assembly, then in the binary. So assembly is the fastest, so which enabled the program to work with the machine on slightly higher level, instead of having to specific sequences of binary numbers to carry out particular task. So a special program known as assembler translates the assembly program from its symbolic format into a specific machine instruction of the computer system, because one-to-one correspondence still exists between each assembly language statement and specific machine instruction. So assembly language are regarded as low level language because they are closest to the system, and C is regarded as the most high level language. So the programmer must still learn the instruction set of the particular computer system to write a program in assembly language. So it's important for us to still learn assembly language, although it's not of much relevance. But in cybersecurity, when you are doing reverse engineering and malware analysis, and there are many CTFs that are still exist on assembly language and C programming language. And if you also see, if you ever heard about the code code forces, I guess code forces or code chef. So the number one ranking, the person who is sitting on number one ranking code in assembly, because it is much fastest, and the execution time is compared to all programming language of the assembly, the running time of assembly is much less. So moving on, operating system I have already covered. What are operating system? Compiling programs. Let's just not go there. Okay, so this is important. So text editor is usually used to enter the C program into a file. For example, V is Vim, is a popular text editor used as Unix systems. So this program that is enter. So what you can do, you can, so I have given attach yesterday I have attached a few articles regarding the installation. So you can install MinGW in Windows, and Mac OS I don't specifically don't know. You can install VS Code, but in Linux I will be using my terminal directly. and I will also show you what modules or libraries I have installed in order to run a C program, in order to compile, in order to debug the C program. And let's just see. So the compilation process is initiated by typing a special command on the system. When this command is entered, the name of the file that contains the source program must also be specified. So moving on directly, if you are using the popular GNU-C compiler, the command you use is GCC. So GCC uses this command GCC is used in each and every system, irrespective it is Windows, Mac, or Linux itself. So GCC is primarily used to compile a program before running. So let me tell you one thing. If you create a .c file, you create a C program, it will not be running directly as a Python file, as you see in Python file like .py. Firstly, you have to compile that, since it is a compiler based language. It's not an interpreter language. So firstly, you need to compile that by using GCC and the file name, then you can run that. So this has the effect of initiating the compilation process with the source program contained in progl.c. So in the first step of the compilation process, the compiler examines each program statement contained in the source program, check it in to ensure that it conforms to the syntax. So it is, so what do you mean by compilation, compiling a program? Okay, so when you use GCC and compile a program, so what is the first step in the compilation process? So each statement contained in the source program, it will go line by line, okay, reading each and every line, and it will make sure that the syntax of the language that you are using is correct, and there are no mistakes in writing a function, defining a function, making variable, passing variable, working with pointers, and so technically speaking, C compiler normally makes a pre-pass of the programming looking for critical statements. So this pre-process is described in detail in the chapter 13, preprocessor. Okay, so let's just start. There's a basic diagram. So first we will start, then we will be editing the code. So this is the source program, or the, so V is used as, you can use nano in in place of V in when you are writing or creating a C program. And in this VS Code, there is a graphical way. You can just create a file, name it as file.c, hello world.c, and just run. So when you are working in terminal, you have to specify which text editor you are using. So firstly, we are just specifying the Unix command that v file.c, for example. If I want to create a file, so I will be saying nano. So it is a text editor. I'll be creating a file, hello. So I should say first program fp.c. So it enters into this text editor. So first file is created, and next, so then it is compiled and assembled. Okay, so if it checks if there are any errors or no, so if there are no errors, it will link the file to the system. So, and it will also create a file.o, which is an object program, and if there exist any errors, so it will go here and it will show the error is existing in this line. So if there are no errors, in the case of no error, it will directly link the file to the system. It will create a file.o, so that the system get familiar what you are doing, and after that, linking the file. So it also create a executable object. So if you want to, when you are doing advanced debugging of a file, so these kind of file, for example, file.o or a.out are used in advanced debugging a file. So when this file is created and read by the system, it is executed. For example, you are adding two numbers, so it will get compiled. So after compiling, the result will be stored in file.o. I think the file.o or the a.outs, from them, one of them is an assembly file. So I cannot confirm you. I think a.out is this assembly file. So what it do, it is read by the system and it is executed. So when you are making a program of adding two numbers, you just provide the input. After the compilation, it will link to the system. It will be saving an assembly language. So it will tell the system that there is a new program, you have to run this new program, and it will be executed on a terminal. So if the result is okay, and the program is done. So these are the typical steps for entering, compiling, and executing C programs from command line. Command line is the terminal, you can say. Three watching. So those who are watching, I need if you are watching seriously, if you want to learn C language, I want a good interaction. You want to ask something, you can ask. uh, so it will be session will be quite engaging. So let's just start. So when all the syntactic and semantic errors have been removed, so syntactic is the syntax, and semantic is the use of the variables or stepwise use of the program. So after that all the errors are removed, the compiler then proceed to take each statement of the program and translate it into a lower form. On most system, this means that each statement is translated by a compiler into an equivalent statement or statement in assembly language. I have already told you. Okay, so after the program has been translated into an equivalent assembly language program, okay, so it can be readable by the system. Assembly language is the most familiar of the system, it's most closest to the system. So this program is translated into the equivalent assembly language program I have told you earlier. So the next step is the compilation process to translate the assembly language statement into an actual machine instruction, that is binary. So this step might or might not involve the execution of the separate program known as assembler. So on most system, the assembler is executed automatically as a part of compilation process. So Unix with the last letter O for object instead of a C under Windows suffix letter OBJ typically replace the scene file. I think the assembler takes each assembly language statement and converts into a binary. So binary code is I think the .o extension is the binary code. It's not human readable, and .out is the assembly code, I guess. So after the program has been, so to subsequently execute the program, all you do is to type the name of the executable object file. So the command a.out has the effect of loading the program called a.out in the computer's memory and initiating its execution. So you can see how beautifully it is, crafted the code line by line. So this is how a system works. You have created a C program, then it is compiled, they have seen is some kind of error or not, they have then converted it to an assembly language so that it can be readable by the system. Then it is created in a machine instruction, that is the binary. And what we get as the output after it is compiled, we get the output, and how fast is the execution. uh, Tremendous. So it's not like something that you have created, gone to new file in VS Code and created .py file. You do print, you name something, and the execution completes. So this is the most interesting part of C programming, how this internally how the files are working. So let's just move forward. Integrated IDE, integrated development environments. So individual steps involved in developing C programs were outlined earlier, showing. So I think I have given the. So on Mac OS, you can use Code Warrior, Xcode are the two IDEs, and uh, they have given Appendix E resources. So these are the resources which I have attached yesterday in the yesterday's community post. So you can refer to the articles, watch what IDE can be, apt for your system according to your system configuration. Either it's a low end PC or a high end PC. You can either it's Windows, Mac, or Linux. So in Linux, it's pretty basic. You can use the terminal and nano text editor. So language interpreters not needed. So you are moving to compiling and running your first program. So in this chapter, you are introduced to the C language so that you can see what programming in C is all about. So what better way to gain an appreciation for this language by taking a look at an actual program written in C. So to begin, you will choose a rather simple example, a program that displays a phrase. So if you are familiar with programming, you have seen that print and the start. Let me just see show you. So in what do you do in the Python? You just do this print, starts the bracket, start a double inverted comma, write any text here, and when you press enter, the text is printed, although it will not be printed here because it is not a Python ideally. So this is how you done in Python. So let's see how it is done in C. And those who don't know, Python is, Python, most of the libraries of Python and whole Python is based on C. So writing your first C program, let's just start from writing the first C program. I think I have, uh, where were we? I have come a lot far. So this was the first program we were writing. Before that, before jumping into that, I was showing you what command I have initiated in order to installation. And those who are using that Linux operating system, they can see this was the command. So this was a build essential, all the essential tools that are needed for C programming: GCC to compile, GDB to debug. If you can't see, let me just make GitHub for Git. It's not GitHub, it's Git is separate. Valgrind and GCC multi libraries, all the libraries needed for compilation of the program. So these were the uh, libraries you can say I have installed. And let's just go there, and let's just write our first program of C. And we will not be writing hello world, we will be printing some another text. So let me just see. So there exist many rm rf. Let me just do one thing, delete all the files present here. A dot out. Let's do ls. So the folder is empty. Now we will be creating our first program, that is nano. uh, we will be creating our first program, so let's name it fp.c. Hit enter. So we are entered in the text editor. So now we will be writing our first program. So first program includes that we are including a library. We will be going in detail what we are writing. First we should be writing the programs std, that is standard input output dot h. We will be closing this. Hit enter. Int main, naming the program and passing the argument void, that this uh, program has no argument. So initiating with curly braces. So since indentation is not of that much use in C, so you can just write anywhere. If you can write like this, you can just write here. Indentation does not matter. So do printf. We will be printing like hi, I am, yeah, close it. I think semicolon is used. Okay, so they have entered a new line character to terminate the string, and close the bracket, use colon, hit enter, return 0, so that it should be returning to the main program, that is main, and closing. I think this should not be returning any kind of error. If it returns any error, we will be debugging that soon. Let's just save it and hit enter. Now what we will do, we will compile it. Like, what's the program we have used? fp.c, and we will be writing the output of that file. We will be using attribute o hyphen o, and we will be writing the output in fp. So you cannot just directly run the C program. So it's done without error. I think the file is quite right. So to run, we will use current directory and / fp, hit enter. So the text is printed, hi, I am Vyad. So let's just examine it once, how it is done. So in C programming language, lowercase, uppercase letter are distinct, so it is case sensitive. In addition, in C, it does not matter where on the line you begin typing. So indentation, what you say, it's completely of no use. In Python, indentation is of higher priority, but in C you can write from anywhere because you are terminating it with a semicolon, so it will read line by line. So in addition, it does not matter where on the line you begin trying, so you can begin trying your statement at any position. Let me just zoom it a little bit. So this fact can be used to your advantage in the development. Okay, the stream is going all right or not? Okay, it's going all right. So compiling your first program. So returning to your C program, you first need to type it into a file, any text editor. So we have used nano. So Unix users often use an editor such as V. We will be not be using V or Emacs. We will be using Nano. So most C compilers, you can use any text editor you want in which you are comfortable. So the main aim should be that the program is executed irrespective what kind of text editor you are using. You can use VS Code, you can use Warrior Code Warrior in Mac OS if you are using Mac OS. If you are using Linux, you can use Nano. It's pretty basic. So most C compiler recognize the file names that end in two characters, that dot and C, as C programs. Okay, if you write dot and write nothing after that, it will be also treated as C program. So assume you type program 3.1 into a file that called prog1.c. Next you need to compile the program using GNO. So they have used GCC. So in Mac OS or Windows, you can directly use GCC. It will be creating output file, but in Linux we have to do that manually. What command we have used? Let's just see here. So we have used this, that compile this language and write the output in this new file. If you do this ls, so you can see two files are created, fp.c, that is my C file, and the output of this file, that is fp. So if you are using the standard Unix C compiler, the command is cc instead of gcc. Okay, if you are using the standard compiler, you cannot use gcc. So here your text you typed is entered in bold. Okay, the dollar sign is your command prompt. Okay, and if you make any mistake keying in your program, the compiler list, okay, so we haven't done any kind of mistake, so it returned blank output while we compile the program. So when the compiler compiles the link and links your program, it creates an executable version of the program using the GNU of the standard C compiler. This program is called a.out by default. Under Windows it is often called a.exe. So in my case, I think there exists nothing, no file is created as such. It will be created later on, because when I was trying to compile hello.c, it has created a.out. So in case of window, it will be a.exe, and in case of C compiler GNU, by default it is a.out. So running your program, you can now run an executable by simply running its name on the command line. Okay, so if a file named as a.exe or a.out is created, you can just directly run that also if you want to, in order to initiate the program. So you can also specify a different name. Okay, so that is what we are doing. We are specifying a different name in order to run the program. So by the letter -o option, which is followed by the name of the executable, for example the command line this, so compiles the program one dots. If I do directly do like this, fp, will it run? Okay, it will not run because we are in Linux. So in order to specify something or run a file, you have to do dot /fp. It's like a shortcut for execution. If you are also try to run sh files, so you should be using that current directory and / and the file name. So pretty good. Compile the program.c, replacing the executable file program. Okay, so I have replaced, or we should say create an output file in order to run this file. So what they have done here is what exactly have I done here. So these are two different way. I have created a new file like fp. They have also created a new file, but they have also mentioned one more technique like a.out can be used in order to run the program. So if you get any error like this, a.out, no such file or directory, then it's probably means the current directory is not in your path. So I guess this directory is not in my path. That is why it is not creating. Although it has, yesterday it has, when I was testing my, the text editor, it has created a.out. Let me just quickly check if it has. No, it has still not. Still, it has not created any kind of a.out. So understanding your first program, that is the most important thing. Let me just open the text editor. So this was our first program. So okay, so I think it's not cut. Okay, so first is that hash include stdio.h. So take a closer look at your first program, the first line of the program. So this is the first line of our program. So should be included at the beginning of just about every program you write. So these are the standard libraries that are included in the C beginning of the program. It tells the compiler information about the printf output. So okay, so printf, how it will work, the working is saved in this stdio or standard input output.h. So output routine that is used later in the program, the preprocessors, when we read in the chapter 13 preprocessors, we will be get a lot familiar how they are done. So if you are watching the stream, you can just tell if I need to change my language medium, I can change it to Hindi, English, or mix. What I should be using. I guess I should change the account in order to comment. Mhm. So I've created a poll. Let's keep it a quite engaging session. I think I'm scared if I'm getting any kind of answers or not. Mix. Someone has commented mix. Oh, the poll is mix. Uh, let's just wait a few more, uh, 2 to 3 minutes. Let's just see if you are interested in the session, what language medium I should prefer, because the book is already in English. I have I have getting habitual uh, while streaming. The past stream was all was in English, so I got little habitual. So only one vote I have got. Uh, it's a request, everyone who is watching. Let's keep it a bit interacting. It's a request. What language medium you should be using? It's Hindi, English, or mix. Only one vote I have got out of eight. Eight watching, in which one is my device only. Nine watching. Nice. Highest watching. So what language medium should I be using in the streams? Please comment. Please, please, please. Uh, I got only one vote. That is, I should be using mix. Okay, कर सकते हैं, मिक्स लैंग्वेज का भी उपयोग कर सकते हैं. And because the book is majorly in English, so we should be keeping it a mix. So let's just start. Let me just try to uh, mix my English and Hindi. So the first line of our code, जो हमारी पहली लाइन है कोड की, वो है include stdio.h. मैंने पहले ही बताया stdio.h है standard input at dot h, standard input output dot h. So this should be included at the beginning of just every program you write. So libraries जो हैं, जितनी भी libraries होती हैं, वो ज़रूरी है कि हम starting of the program में ही जो है उन्हें मेंशन कर देंगे हम ये लाइब्रेरीज यूज़ कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज हम बहुत सारे फंक्शंस जो इनबिल्ट फंक्शंस है सी के उन्हें यूज़ करेंगे, लाइक प्रिंट एफ. सो प्रिंट एफ का जो भी आउटपुट है, जिस तरीके से वो आउटपुट देता है, वो जो तरीका है, जो वे है, वो लिखा हुआ है stdio.h में. सो preprocessors, it will be later discussed in the preprocessor. The line of the program that reads int main void. So what is this? The second line, int main void, how it is working. So it informs the system that the name of the program is main and that it returns an integer value. Okay, so int जो है उसे denote किया गया है integer की तरह, और main जो है हमारा program का name है. And what is void used? Let's see. So int is abbreviated as, matlab integer is abbreviated as int, and main is a special name that indicates precisely where the program is to begin the execution. So हम जब main use कर रहे हैं, so we mark that we are beginning a program. We have started the curly braces, so after that we are beginning some kind of program. So this main is called a function. If officially we are saying anything, it's function. It's the we are telling this function is int, so it should be expecting such int or integer. So the keyword void that is enclosed in the parenthesis specifies that the function main takes no argument. Okay, so as this, as it is a function, so the property of function is to, it इसका एक function है कि ये आर्ग्यूमेंट्स को एक्सेप्ट करता है। सो इस केस में हमारे पास कोई आर्ग्यूमेंट्स नहीं है, सो हम उसे एक वॉइड रिटर्न करेंगे। वॉइड का मतलब है कुछ भी नहीं, नल। So main takes no argument, which is that is it is void of the argument. Okay. So these concepts are explained in great detail in chapter 8, working with the functions. Okay. So when we move to chapter 8, we will be getting a detail of how the functions are defined, how the functions are made, and what properties do we need to specify in order to run a function. 12 watching, quite good. I think the session is going good. सो नाउ दैट यू हैव आइडेंटिफाइड, सो काफ़ी लोगों के लिए ये सेशन बोरिंग भी हो सकता है क्योंकि उन्हें सी आती हो, पर मेरा ये मानना है दैट वी शुड बी स्क्रैचिंग, वी शुड बी स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम द स्क्रैच, वी शुड बी नोइंग everything in order to exploit. So when you are exploiting a system और कुछ आपको इस तरीके की कोई फाइल मिलती है, ऐसे फाइल तो नहीं मिलेगी, कुछ भी ऐसी फाइल मिलती है तो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि कौन सा कोड किस लिए एग्जीक्यूट किया गया है, कौन सी लाइब्रेरी क्यों यूज़ की गई है, तभी आप उसमें कुछ भी मतलब वल्नरेबिलिटी ढूंढ के उसे एक्सप्लॉइट कर सकते हैं. So now that you have identified main to the system, let me just do one thing. Okay, so now that you have identified main to the system, you are ready to specify precisely what this routine is to perform. So हमने main specify करने के बाद हमने we have marked in the in the text editor that we are that हम अब program start कर रहे हैं. main जो program हमें करना है, जो हमें output चाहिए, वो किस तरीके से चाहिए, वो हम start करेंगे after defining the function. So the parameters, no. All the program statement include between the braces are taken as the part of main routine by the system. So जो भी चीज़ braces के बीच में लिखी है, वो एक main routine of the system की तरह उसे treat किया जाएगा कि ये main चीज़ है. So in program 3.1, you have only two such statements. The first statement specifies that a routine named printf is to be invoked or called. ओके, सो सबसे पहले हमने करली ब्रेसेस स्टार्ट करने के बाद हमने प्रिंट एफ को कॉल किया, एक तरीके से कह सकते हैं, ये भी एक फंक्शन है, और ये फंक्शन आया कहाँ से, ये स्टैंडर्ड इनपुट आउटपुट से आया है, तो हमने इसे कॉल किया है इस फंक्शन को कि दैट वी नीड यू इन ऑर्डर टू डू समथिंग, हमें एक स्टेटमेंट को प्रिंट करना है, तो हमें इस प्रोग्राम की जरूरत, इस फंक्शन की जरूरत है in order to run something. So the parameter or argument to be passed to the print routine is the string of the character. So printf एक string लेगा अपने अंदर कि इसको ये प्रिंट करनी है. So this is the string that we have used. So print f routine is a function in the C library that simply prints or displays its arguments. So ये एक हमने argument पास किया, ये एक function है. So print का एक function क्या print करता क्या है, print करता क्या है कि ये प्रिंट करता है किसी भी चीज़ को जो भी हम उसे आर्ग्यूमेंट में देते हैं, या डिस्प्ले करता है उस कंटेंट को. सो द लास्ट टू कैरेक्टर्स इन द स्ट्रिंग, नेमली द बैकलैश, दिस इज द बैकलैश and the letter n are collectively known as new line character. मैंने पहले ही ये बोल दिया था कीवर्ड new line character. So a new line character tells the system to do precisely what its name implies, that is go to a new line. So after that ये जब string को print करेगा, हम ये यूज कर रहे हैं बैकलैश n. So ये हम बता रहे हैं उसको कर्सर को कि तुम्हें नेक्स्ट लाइन में जाना है, जो भी चीज तुम एग्जीक्यूट करोगे, यू हैव टू एग्जीक्यूट इट फ्रॉम अ न्यू लाइन. So any character to be printed after the new line character then appear on the next line of the display. In fact, the new line character is similar in the concept to the carriage return key on a typewriter. Okay, so some टाइपराइटर तो नहीं यूज़ किया होगा, सो उसमें कैरिएज रिटर्न की होती थी टाइपराइटर में. जब भी हम सब टाइप करते थे, उसमें एक लीवर होता था नीचे की तरफ. मैं अगर दिखा सकूं, अगर इफ पॉसिबल, कि टाइपराइटर में किस तरीके से होता था, तो उसे हमें खींचना पड़ता था ताकि वो नया लाइन पे जाए. वाओ नाइस. टाइपराइटर, ये जो अगर देखा हो किसी ने, जो लीवर देख रहे हो ना इसमें आप साइड में, ये होता था कैरिएज. सो उसे जब प्रेस करते थे तो ये न्यू लाइन के अंदर जाता था. सो सो ऑल द प्रोग्राम स्टेटमेंट इन सी मस्ट बी टर्मिनेटेड बाय सेमीकोलन, क्योंकि हमें जब ये कंपाइलेशन के टाइम ये लाइन वाइज जब इसे कंपाइल कर रहा है, तो हमें उसे एक मतलब उसका एंड दिखाने के लिए उस प्रोग्राम का हमें सेमीकोलन का यूज करना पड़ता है. So that is the reason for the semicolon that appears immediately following the closing parenthesis of the printf call. So the last statement जो हमारा है return 0, इसका क्या मतलब है? So it says to finish the execution of main. So ये हम specify करते हैं कि हमने जो main function start किया था उसको हम end कर रहे हैं, हम उसका execution को ख़त्म कर रहे हैं, and return to the system a status value of 0. और हम जो status system status है उसको हम return कर रहे हैं उसकी value को 0, क्योंकि उसकी कुछ value हो गई होगी after the execution. So उसको हम रिटर्न कर रहे हैं 0 पे. कितनी वॉचिंग थी? 9, मेरे को 32 दिखा था। इतना कैसे? हिंदी पे शिफ्ट करते ही द वॉचिंग इज क्वाइट एंगेजिंग, नाइस। सो हमने रिटर्न जीरो, मैंने बताया कि किस तरीके से जो है इस फंक्शन को हम मतलब बताते हैं कि हम तुम्हें एंड कर रहे हैं और सिस्टम जो स्टेटस है उसको हम जीरो पे ले जा रहे हैं. So you can use any integer here. Zero is used by the convention to indicate that the program completed successfully. We can use any integer. We can just mark the system status and at any integer at any value. But why we are using zero? So zero because we are using zero that we are using zero in convention to indicate. So we are indicating that the program is completed successfully without running into any errors. So there are no errors present in the program. So different number can be used to indicate different type of error condition that occurred, such as a file not being found. The exit status can be tested by the other programmer such as Unix shell to see whether the program runs successfully. Okay, so इसमें ये दिक्कत है कि अगर अगर कुछ भी जब रिटर्न में जब कोई और भी आएगा तो जो भी इंटीजर इसमें हम कुछ भी इंटीजर इसमें हम स्पेसिफाई करेंगे वो डिपेंड करता है कि किस तरीके का एरर आया है. सो दैट इज़ वाई जब प्रोग्राम एग्जीक्यूशन हमारा सक्सेसफुल है तो हम उसे ज़ीरो रिटर्न करेंगे, सिस्टम स्टेटस को ज़ीरो बताएंगे. सो लैंग्वेज मीडियम में 50-50 आया है, हिंदी और मिक्स. सो जिसने भी हिंदी किया है कमेंट, आई विल ट्राई टू, बट द बुक इज इन इंग्लिश, सो I have to read that in English. I will convert that into Hindi. No problem. So let's just go. Say to finish execution of main, return to the system. So the sound is all right, I guess. Uh, those who are watching the session can just quickly confirm if the sound is all right or not. मैं मिक्स कर देता हूँ मैं भी. I cannot poll. Nice. अरे यार लाइव चैट ही बंद हो गया. कहाँ से आता है? लाइव कंट्रोल पैनल. मैं इसलिए नहीं देखता इसे. कोई नहीं. So we are here. Yes, it is. Okay. So next, now that you have finished analyze, we have analyzed everything. So you can modify it to display the phrase and programming in C is even more fun. So हम इसको modify कर सकते हैं. Okay, so we can let's test one thing. अगर मैं न्यू लाइन करेक्टर को हटा दूंगा तो क्या होगा? Let's do another printf and मैं एक और स्ट्रिंग पास करूंगा and I am a hacker. hacker. और इसको स्ट्रिंग को बंद कर देंगे और सेमी कॉलन से कर देंगे. मैंने न्यू लाइन करेक्टर किसी में नहीं दिया है, इसका मतलब सी समझेगा कि मेरे को न्यू लाइन में जाना ही नहीं है, तो ये क्या करेगा? लेट्स सी. आई हैव टू कंपाइल इट आई गेस एंड डू एल एस रनिंग दिस प्रोग्राम. सो हमने क्या देखा कि हाय आई एम व्याद. व्याद के बाद उसने कोई स्पेस भी नहीं लिया, ना न्यू लाइन करेक्टर लिया, मतलब स्पेस भी उसने स्किप किया और सीधा ऐड कर दिया एंड आई एम अ हैकर. सो दिस इज हाउ एग्जीक्यूशन टेक प्लेस इन सी. सो इफ़ हमें चेंज करना है इसको नेक्स्ट लाइन में लेके आना है तो हम क्या करेंगे? इस इफ़ हमें स्पेस देना है तो स्पेस तो हम स्ट्रिंग में मतलब मेंशन कर सकते हैं. अगर हम इसे नेक्स्ट लाइन में लेके आएंगे तो किस तरीके से लेके आएंगे? तो नैनो एफ पी डॉट सी और यहाँ पे, अच्छा माउस तो नहीं चलेगा इसमें, यहाँ पे हम न्यू लाइन करेक्टर देंगे एन. ओके, यहाँ नीडेड नहीं है. अगर कुछ नेक्स्ट इसके बाद प्रिंट करना है तो यहाँ पे न्यू लाइन करेक्टर देना पड़ेगा. सो कंट्रोल एक्स, यस, एंटर. लेट्स do this, try to run this, and we have done this because अब हमने यहाँ पे न्यू लाइन करेक्टर मेंशन किया है, तो हमने कहा है टर्मिनल को इंस्ट्रक्ट किया है दैट यू हैव टू गो टू न्यू लाइन, और उसके बाद वो बोलेगा हाय आई एम व्याद, जो पहला प्रिंट था हमारा. उसके बाद दूसरा प्रिंट एफ से पहले एक न्यू लाइन करेक्टर था, तो कर्सर नया लाइन में जाएगा, उसके बाद वो उसे प्रिंट करेगा. सो आई गेस इट इज़ क्वाइट easy. So let's just move forward. If you type in program 3.2 and then compile and execute it, you can expect the flowing output in your program output window, sometime called the console. Okay. Okay. As you will see from the next program example, it is not necessary to make a separate call. कुछ यहाँ पे कट है क्या? नहीं, सही है. इसको पूरा कट रहा है. कैन आई कैन नॉट एडिट इट. 120 कर देता तो शायद हो जाता. Okay, so as you will see from the next program example, it is not necessary to make a separate call to printf routine. For each line of the output, study the program listed in the program 3.3. Try to predict the result before examining the output. No cheating now. So इस पर हुआ क्या है? Hmm, इसका output टेस्टिंग. ओके, सो व्हाट इट इज़ डूइंग. सो इसने कहा है कि हमें printf ज़रूरी नहीं है कि बार बार यूज़ करना हो. अगर मैं इस चीज़ को सीधा ऊपर कॉपी पेस्ट कर देता हूँ अगर होता है तो. लेट्स जस्ट कॉपी द सिलेक्शन और इस वाली लाइन को हटा ही देते हैं. ओके, और ऊपर जाते हैं और इसको यहाँ पे ऐड कर देते हैं. नाइस, नाइस. और सेव भी हो गया. नाइस, बहुत बढ़िया. नैनो एफ पी डॉट सी. आई हैव क्रिएटेड अ वीडियो डिस्क्रिप्शन और वो यहाँ पे सेव हो गया. नाइस, बढ़िया. आई हैव टू डिलीट इट नाउ मैनुअली, क्योंकि इसमें कर्सर काम नहीं करता. कंट्रोल ए करके ऑल डिलीट भी नहीं कर सकते. सो मुझे इसे मैनुअली डिलीट करना पड़ेगा. ऑल्दो मैंने कॉपी किया था उसे, बट नहीं चला. जल्दी हो जा भाई. वेट फॉर 1 minute. By the time it is, that is why nano I say it is pretty basic. So इसमें बहुत सारे फीचर्स नहीं है अभी भी. ओके, कहाँ चला गया प्रिंट मेरा. ओके, ये रहा. सो जो लास्ट टेक्स्ट मैंने पढ़ा उसमें ये था कि अगर मैं हाइफन एन जो सॉरी जो बैकलैश एन लिखता हूँ उसके बाद कुछ भी मेंशन करता हूँ एंड आई एम अ हैकर और ब्रैक इसे क्लोज करता हूँ. सो हैकर की स्पेलिंग गलत, कोई बात नहीं. लेट्स जस्ट सी कि क्या होता है. पहले मैं इसे कंपाइल करता हूँ और उसके बाद इसको रन करता हूँ एफ पी. सो यू कैन सी कि जो है हमें दो बार प्रिंट करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. हम एक ही लाइन एक ही प्रिंट एफ के अंदर जो है सारी चीज़ दे सकते हैं. और पोल में कुछ और रिजल्ट आया है. अरे वाह, 3 वोट्स और एंड ऑल द 3 वोट्स. ओके, हिंदी भी इंग्लिश. ओके, सो ऑल द 3 options we have got Hindi, English and mix. Nice, good. So let's move forward. Okay, मैं सारी चीज़ कर लूँगा भाई. हिंदी, इंग्लिश, और you will need in French. I can also do that. एक तो ये यार ये परेशान कर रहा है मेरे को, क्योंकि ज़्यादा कर रहा हूँ तो ये छोटा हो जा रहा है. प्रॉपर मेरे को स्ट्रीम अभी करनी नहीं आती तो इसलिए ये दिक्कत कर रहा है. हाँ, कटा हुआ है अभी भी. I cannot zoom in directly also. Okay, pretty good now. So it is doing the same thing. It is like testing, then it has given a new line character that dot 1. Okay, testing new line character. Then in the new line, second line, it will be printed dot 1. In the next line 3 dots 2. In the next line 3 dots 4 dots 3. So you don't need to every time initiating the printf and printing anything, so you can just do like this. Although I have thought कि मैंने सोचा था कि आज सेशन जो because I have already streamed in the afternoon and I have thought कि मैं सेशन को 1 hour का ही रखूँगा, but it's quite interesting, so we will just continue. And okay, so this is the output I have already told you. So specifically अलग अलग printf यूज़ करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. एक ही printf में हम न्यू लाइन करेक्टर डिफाइन करके कर सकते हैं. So display the values of variables. So now we are working with variables. इसको और छोटा कर देते हैं. So the printf routine is the most commonly used routine in this book. Okay, printf is, it is specified as, इसको routine की तरह माना गया है. So this is because it provides an easy and convenient means to display program results. Okay. So printf जो है एक easy तरीका, एक convenient तरीका है, so that we can display a program result. And not only can simple phrases be displayed, but the values of the variable and the result of the computation can also be displayed. So by this line ये कहना चाह रहा है कि it can not only display that we are writing something or specifying a string, it will be only printing that. It can also print a computational data. It can also print a value of a variable. So let's see what has program 3.5 3.4 uses the printf routine to display the result of adding two numbers. So let's create another file, nano. So we should be, doing the same thing, like it is specifying program 3.4. I think I cannot use 4.4, but I cannot specify like directly print program 3.4. Let's just for the sake of convenience, so we are adding number. I have created a file to add.c. So it uses the printf routine to display the result of adding two numbers. So in future what we will be doing, we will be taking the input from the user. हम user से input लेंगे कि तुम्हें क्या नंबर ऐड कराने हैं, व्हाट डू यू वांट. सो इसमें हम वी आर कीपिंग इट अ बिट इजी, और थोड़ा सा बेसिक रखेंगे कि हम पहले से ही नंबर ले रहे हैं 50 और 25. सो व्हाट वी हैव डन, सो इंट स्टूडियो इंट मेन वॉइड ये सेम है. इसको एज इट इज कॉपी कर लेते हैं. ये सेम है, ये लाइब्रेरी है. हमने एक फंक्शन डिफाइन किया मेन, उसका आर्ग्यूमेंट वॉइड है, कुछ भी पास नहीं किया. एंड वी आर जस्ट बिगिनिंग द प्रोग्राम विद कर्ली ब्रेसेस. सो व्हाट वी आर डूइंग नाउ, we are specifying int sum, that sum is an integer int sum, ending with it with a semicolon. And we are just defining sum. What is sum? So sum is like, let's take random two numbers to add, 20 plus 60. We'll not take the example of book. We have defined it and just end it with semicolon. What we will do, we will be printing the output now, print f. So in Python it is print, but in C it is printf. So we are printing that the sum of, in this case is 50 and 25, but in my case is 20 and 60 is, so is, they are mentioned percent I and n. Okay, so is percent I, that is for, I think it is for integer n, and we will be closing this, and we will be specifying that what variable will be used in place of percent I. Those who have joined the afternoon session of bash, it is quite similar that we have used $I there, and this we are using if in this we are using percent I. So let's just state the variable that it is sum, terminate with it with the semicolon, hit enter. We will be returning the system state to 0, and just close this braces and control X. Yes, modified enter. Let's do ls. So we will be compiling this gcc add.c. We will be writing the output to add. Okay, so it's without any. So okay, the sum of 20 and 60 is 80. So the program is working absolutely fine. Let's just see what we have done. So the basic, including the library, naming the function and passing the word argument, and beginning the curly braces. Here the new thing is, we have to specify how we are using the variable, what it is. If it is a character, we will use char, and name of the variable. In this case it will be int. We know that the sum of this 20 plus 60 will be int, so we will be specifying that it is a data. These are basically called data types, so this is int. So we'll be printing that the sum of 20 and 60 is percent I. Percent I will be replaced with this variable since it is an integer, so we have used I. And we will be uh, taking it in the later chapters how we have used percent I here. So for now you can assume that I is for integer, and percent I can be used to replace this variable. So when the output is printed, this percent I is be replaced with this variable sum. So after closing or initiating this statement, we will be giving comma and the name of the variable, any name of the variable that we have defined. So rest all the same, return 0, system state to 0. And when we have uh, try to run this program, and it's completely working, the sum of 20 and 60 is 80. So in program 3.4, the first C program statement declares the variable sum to be type integer. Okay, the sum. Okay, so type of variable we have used, that is integer. So C requires that all program variable to be declared. So in C, we need to specify what type of variable we are using. So this information is needed by the compiler to generate the correct instructions to store and retrieve values into and out of the variables. So a variable declared as type int can only be used to hold integral value. If we try to just to give another, let's just try, क्योंकि अभी तक एक भी एरर नहीं आया है, हम जान के एरर लेके आते हैं कि होता क्या है. अगर मैं सम की जगह कोई कैरेक्टर दे दूं, क्या पता चल भी जाए, कुछ भरोसा नहीं है. व्याध, and we do control X. Let's just see will it work. फर्स्ट हम इसे कंपाइल करेंगे. सो यस, कंपाइल के दौरान ही इसने हमें जो है एक एरर थ्रो किया है कि इन फंक्शन मेन, कि मेन फंक्शन जो आपने डिफाइन किया है उसमें लाइन 5 में एरर आया है कि जो व्याध है वो अनडिक्लेयर्ड है. कि अच्छा, व्याध को इसने एक वेरिएबल की तरह लिया है. सो लेट मी डू, इट इज़ डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ एरर. सो जो व्याध इसने एक वेरिएबल की तरह लिया है, ये दोनों को वेरिएबल ट्रीट कर रहा है. सो इसने बोल दिया कि फर्स्ट यूज इन दिस फंक्शन, कि व्याध को पहले वी हैव टू यूज दिस कीवर्ड इन द फंक्शन, वी हैव टू डिफाइन दिस कि है क्या ये. सो ईच अनडिक्लेयर्ड आइडेंटिफायर इज रिपोर्टेड ओनली वंस फॉर ईच फंक्शन इट इज अपीयरिंग. सो यू विल बी डूइंग वन थिंग, हम इसको स्ट्रिंग की तरह मेंशन कर देते हैं, क्योंकि हमें वो वाला एरर देखना है कि टाइप हमने जो है गलत डिफाइन किया है उसका. So control X, yes, modified. We'll try to compile. Okay. So ये रहा assignment. So इसने वही बोला कि assignment int from char. पहले कि आपने बोला कि हमने int है, ये int है कि सम, हमने सम को int define किया है, but we have specified a char here, character here. So make it integer from pointer without a cast. So we have just, this is a way that typecasting, we say that typecasting we will study it later, but वो वही कह रहा है कि ये integer you have specified char. So char एक pointer define कर देना चाहिए था यहाँ पे, अगर if you are typecasting something. So you can do this by the use of pointer. You can directly do this if somehow you know how to use pointers. We will be studying that later, but for now you can you just just remember this. याद रख सकते हो कि क्या एरर दिखाया है इसने, कि पहले हमने इंट डिक्लेयर किया सम को, पर हमने वहाँ पे एक कैरेक्टर दे दिया व्याध, तो वो इसने एरर दिखाया है कि यू हैव टू स्पेसिफाई, बता रहा है कि मेक यूज ऑफ इंटीजर. सो लेट्स जस्ट डू नैनो एट सी, एंड हम वही एक्सप्रेशन डाल देंगे यहाँ पे. अगर जो डबल इन्वर्टेड कॉमास आपके हैं उसके अंदर मैं कुछ भी लिखूंगा, स्ट्रिंग की तरह ट्रीट होगा. अगर मैं इसे भी डबल इन्वर्टेड कॉमास में लिखूंगा और कोट करूंगा, कोटिंग इज द राइट वर्ड आई शुड से, सो कोट करूंगा तो ये भी एक स्ट्रिंग की तरह ट्रीट होगा. कंपाइल करूंगा, इस बार कोई एरर नहीं है, और जब मैं से रन करूंगा तो ये रन कर रहा है. So this information is needed by the compiler to generate the correct instruction to store and retrieve value into and out of the variable. Stream सही चल रही है ना? Sound issue कुछ तो नहीं है? Okay, 62% is English. Nice. मैंने देखा नहीं, 8 votes we have got, and out of which 62% is English. So we should be continuing in English. If you have facing those who want to learn in Hindi, sorry for not seeing the poll, but if someone wants to translate me anything, I can translate, but I will be continuing this in English. So let's begin. So okay, in programming 3.4, the first C program statement declares the variable sum to be the type of integer. Okay, we have done this. So this information is needed to compiler to generate the correct instruction. A variable declared as type int can only be used to hold the integer values, that is the values without decimal places. Example are 3, 5, -20 and 0 is also treated as integer. And the numbers with decimal, so 3.14, 2.455, these are all float values, so they have mentioned are known as floating point or real numbers. So the integer variable sum is used to store the result of the addition of the two numbers. So when we do this, nice, So हमने sum can okay English. So we have stored 20 plus 60, the result of 20 plus 60 in the sum variable, and later we are using it in printf. 9 votes. I don't think I don't. Before the session, I don't know there will be so much people that will be joining the session. It's quite motivating that that much people have joined the session and they are keeping it quite engaging. Pretty good. So the integer variable sum is used to store the result of the addition of the two integers. I am repeating something. A blank line was intentionally left following the declaration of this variable. Okay. Okay, they have left a blank line, but I have not paid attention to it. So why they have used? So let the following declaration of the variable to usually separate the variable declaration. Okay, so uh, for the visual understanding, they have done this. So it is quite clustered. You can just refer to this. Okay, so the program statement sum 50 plus 25. They have used 5025. I have used 2060. So you are that much. I guess you are that much familiar that you can just uh, differentiate between the examples. If the book is using this example, I will be doing a little bit different from the book. So the printf routine called in program 3.4 now has two items or arguments enclosed within the parameters. So previously when we was seeing this printf thing, it has only one argument to display, that is hi, I am Vyad. So this time it has two arguments. Firstly, this statement, the sum of 20 and 60. Second is the variable that we are printing. So these arguments are separated by comma. So arguments are separated by comma. The first argument to printf routine is always the character string to be displayed. Okay. So, however, along with the display of the character string, you might also frequently want to have the value of certain program variables displayed. In this case, you want to have the value of the variable sum displayed. Okay, so I have already explained it, because printf is a routine and anything I am entering inside these brackets are arguments. So in this case, we are passing more than one argument. That is, first argument is the statement, the basic statement, that is the sum of 20 and 60 is percent I, ending with the new line character. And the second argument is sum. So this percent I is replaced by sum. Okay. So that is what it is telling. So the percent character inside the first argument is a special character recognized by a printf function. So printf is already known why someone is using percent sign in a argument. So printf, the characters that immediately follows the percent sign specify the type of values to be displayed at that point. So in this preceding program, the letter I is recognized by the printf routine as signifying that an integer value is to be displayed. Okay, so if you are using percent in the argument of print is already known. Print को पहले ही पता है कि that anything you are passing after the percent sign, for example, in this case it is I, so I will be integer. So let's just move. Whenever the printf routine finds percent I character inside a character string, so it is a character string. I have already told the character string will be quoted, and if in the character string, the quoted character string, there exists anything starting with a percent sign, so it will automatically be treated as stated in the printf. So in this case, I is treated as integer. So because sum is the next argument to printf, its value is automatically displayed after the character, the sum of 50 and okay. So the value immediately after this argument, after completion of this argument, we have separated the both arguments by the comma, and the printf already know that after I read this argument, and if there is percent I inside, so any argument passed after this comma will be replaced here and will be displayed. I should display it here. So now try to predict the output from program 3.5. Okay, so let's try to first predict the program, then we will be running this. If we are okay, they have given the output, but we will not cheat. Okay, so this is the program. First, they are including the library standard input output, then int main void. So these spaces are left for that this code should be not seen as clustered. So that is why they have used line spaces. So it's completely your choice. They have named the function as main. They have passed the argument void. They have specified three values this time. int value 1 comma value 2 comma sum. So these are three arguments, and uh, every the all the three arguments are int here. So value 1 is 50, value 2 is 25, and we are just making it a bit complicated. That firstly we have taken 50 and 25 directly, okay, no problem. So the sum will, what it will take value 1 and value 2. It will read what is value 1. Value 1 is 50. It will read what will be value 2. It is 25. So it will be adding them. So what it will do now? So the printf, the sum of percent I and percent I is percent I. So the arguments which you write here is automatically assigned. So for example, if you write percent I, it will automatically read what is written after this. So this percent I will be replaced with value 1. The sum of, so this is sorted, and the next percent I, it is the second argument, so it will directly jump to the second argument to this. So it is value 2. So third argument, that is not the third argument, third percent I. So it will be mentioning that you have to go jump directly to the third argument, that is sum. So this percent I is replaced by value 1, this is with value 2, and this last with the sum. And it will be output that the sum of 50 and 25 is 75. No problem. Let me just copy it and paste it here. Copy. I cannot directly, I have to delete this or something. Uh, I can create another function, no problem, I guess. Try to copy it. Let's just hit enter, control shift V. Okay, so they have created another. Let's see if we create the two functions with the same name, what will happen. Is there anything wrong we are doing? So I think they have not closed the bracket. Let's just control X, yes, enter. And we will be first compiling this program. Okay, so they have mentioned that redefinition of main, so you have defined the main function two times. Okay, no problem. So let's just do one thing, nano add.c. We should be deleting this, and we cannot define the same function, the same function two times. So it is treating that this function is already defined, and you are again redefining the function. That is what the error was all about. If you do control X, yes, enter, the you can see that he's the the compiler is giving us the error, throwing the error that redefinition of main is used. So previously you have defined that it is a int void, and you are again defining the function, so that is why it is throwing an error. So you cannot define the same function twice. So let's try to run this. So you can see the sum of 50, although the output is same, no problem, but the way of writing of code is different. Let's just move forward. uh I will be creating a poll. Please let me just close this. We have got that we will be initiating. Let me just create another poll. And so I have asked a simple question, that I am I covering it to very basic? Should I pace up a little bit and not be explaining each and everything? Tries to answer it as fast as possible. If I am going matlab, too basic, although it is needed, we should be knowing that how this each keyword is used in the program, in the code, in order to exploit. When you will be exploiting or making exploit, it will be, you will have to go very very deep inside the programming or the coding. So please just okay, so no, I should not pace up. I will be going, so I should go like this only. Please answer in the chat. Hexor, what is Hexor? Nikhil Kapila. Should I pace up? Okay, so one vote I have got that I should pace up. I want more answers. What is this Hexor? Nikhil Kapila. I don't know, brother. Good. Okay, so I should not pace up. because I've got two boards and the poll is a bit mixed, yes and no both. Okay, let's try to increase a pace little bit. Uh, 2 to 5 to 10%. So note that printf also we have already covered. You can also use allows you to specify %d form a character display an integer. This works constantly using %I throughout the remaining chapters. Okay, so you can in place of %I you can use %d. I will not be showing the practice. Yes, very basic. uh, what you are saying, I am teaching very basic, or should I be stick to it? XOR. If you have no still you have joined the session now, I have already discussed why I am going that much deeper, why I am specifying each and everything. It is for the beginners with that are also just starting the programming, because most of the cybersecurity, I should not say professionals, those who are in cybersecurity, they pay a little bit attention to coding and all. I also myself don't pay attention to C programming, but I now I uh, got to know that there is much more to explore in cybersecurity. So I should be pacing a little bit. So let's just increase the speed. I will not show the practical. It is fair, makes sense. Okay. So %I, you can use %d. I will not show you the practical. Like you can in place of %I you can use %d. It will be working same. So the first program statement declares three variable. Okay, it is declaring the three variable value 1, value 2. Okay, all are int. After three value have been declared, the program assign the value. Okay, 50 is assigned to value 1 and then assign 25 to value 2. The sum of these two variable is then computed and the result is assigned to sum. Okay, we have already discussed this. Let's just not go there because it is already discussed. It's very basic. So comments, the final program in this chapter, program 3.6, introduces the concept of the comment. A comment section, a comment statement is used to in a program to document a program. Okay, so if you are working for a organization, let's just talk case based scenario. Let's just take a case based scenario. If you are working with an organization or a company and someone new join, there is a new join or intern in your company, so you are working on a project, he joins in between. So when you just getting him familiar with the code, so what you do, you should be having you should be having documentation within your code, although it is not it's in secure coding. When we talk about secure coding, it's not recommended to leave any kind of comments inside the code, because it is exploitable. You explain every bit of the when you try to code, you explain every bit of the structure of the code, how you are using. So when you are in the development phase, you can use this comments thing in order to document your code. But when you it's the time for deploying a code or deploying the project, you should uncomment all the things, because we will see later on when we are you know doing web exploitation, web pen testing, and when we use burp suit to intercept the network, and when you just somehow get the access of the source code of the your website you are testing, and you see the comments inside. So sorry for the sounds of the crackers. So if you see the comments inside, so it's a bit easy for hackers to just get an idea of the code. So let's assume the hacker is a script kiddie. He just know about the tools and don't know about anything about coding. That is why we are learning coding here. So what happens? So if he is a script kiddie, he don't know anything about the code, but somehow he intercepted the network and get the access of the source code. He can read the documentation and accept, just uh, get a crisp of the code and can exploit the network or your web web application or anything. So that is why. So I have tell you both pros and cons. So it's just the right time you are using the comments in a program. So commenting is a bit easy, I should not be showing. Let's just take a small example, nano at C. So what is commenting? Like we will be using backlash and this. So we have commented the code, I guess. I've commented the whole code. Okay, so I have to close this now. Yes. So we can document that if someone is new, don't know about coding, we can say add to numbers, and to end this, we will using this again. So this comment is added. It will not be displayed. It will not make any changes in the output, but it's just for the documentation sake. I should compile it now. Yes. When you will try to run this, so there will be no change in the output. The output will be same. So let's just move forward. Continue. Display the result. Okay. No problem. So there are two ways to insert a comment in a program, into a C program. A comment can be initiated by the two characters backslash and asterisk. This marks the beginning of the comment. This type of the comment have to be terminated, and to end the comment you have to use this. So all characters included between this and this are treated as a part of comment section and are ignored by C compiler, so it will not be compiled. So this form of comment is often used when comments span several lines okay, so if you are writing several lines, you are writing a big documentation. I've got 4 words. Again, the audience is separated, very basic. Okay, I will increase a speed little bit. I have also analyzed that I was going too deep, but when it is needed I will be going deeper into the code. Okay, so if it is a multi-line comment you can use this, but if it is a single line comment, like in my case in the program, you can use double backslash, two consecutive slash characters. So any characters that follow these slashes up to end the line are ignored by the compiler. Let's just skip this. This is contribute example because only the first comment. Okay, let me just quickly read it to give you summary. Sir, don't use double meaning. Arey yaar. It is a good idea to get into the habit of inserting comment statement into the program as the program is being written or typed in. So these are good reasons for this. So first, it is far easier to document the program while the particular program logic is still fresh in your mind. Then it is go back and rethink. Okay, if you are just reviewing your code, so documentation can be useful. So a comment cannot only help you read through the program, but it can also help point out the way to the source of the logic mistake. Finally, I have yet to discuss. Okay. No need to do this. So this concludes the introductory chapter, but by now you should have a good feel. Okay, we have done this. Write a program that prints the following text at the terminal. In C, lowercase letters are significant. May is the okay, just displaying the text. What output would you expect? So the same output. Okay, it is done above. Testing, then dot 1 dot 2. Okay, it will not be done in the new line, so this will be continued, I guess. Testing, then dot 1 dot 2 dot 3. Okay, so no new line character is present here, so it will be printed in a single line. Write a program that subtracts the value 15 from 87, displays the result. No need. uh, Identify the syntactic error in this. Include studio into invert. Okay, int is in capital. This is also in capital, but it is in comments. But we are beginning the comments, but we are not ending the comments. A lot of things are wrong in this. First, the int is capital. The beginning of the comment, it is not closed. It will also be treated as comment. It is also comment, but it is wrongly closed. Answer is percent and some lot of wrong in this. What output might you expect from the following program? Int answer result, answer is 100, result is answer minus 10, that is 90. 90 and 95 will be the answer. So let's just move to the next chapter. Although I was not planning to have a stream of 2 hours today, but I think I will be going again the regular 4 hour stream. It's 1 hour 35 minutes, no problem. Let's just not focus on time, let's just focus on content. So fourth chapter, variables, data types and arithmetic expressions. In this chapter you will learn more about variable names, constants. You can also take a detailed look at the basic data type and some fundamental rules for writing arithmetic expression. Okay, if we are working with variables, data types, that is int, character, float and arithmetic expression, we will be doing some kind of calculations, I guess. Working with variables, earlier computer program had the wondrous task of having to write the program in the binary language of the machine they were programming. This meant that the computer instruction had to be hand coded into binary numbers, okay, by the programmer. So they are you by so people back then were too intelligent. They code in binary. So before they could be entered into the machine, furthermore, the program had to be explicitly assign and reference any storage location inside the computer's memory. So when you are doing memory allocation in C, these variables will be useful in the pointer arithmetic, I guess. So it is chapter 3, okay. We should not be reading this. So the rules for formatting variables names are quite simple. They must be begin with a letter or underscore. Okay, so they can begin with underscore and can be followed by any combination of letter. Sorry for the sound of cracker. Uh, it can be followed by any combination of letters, upper or lower case, underscores or digits 0 to 9, the following. So this is the way of writing a variable or defining a variable. So these are the ways. So examples such as sim, piece flag, randomly, capital letters, single alphabet, random strings, again using underscore in between, using underscore at the initial. So on the other hand, the following variable names are not valid. Okay, dollar is not valid character. Embedded space, okay, space is not permitted. Variable name cannot start with number. Okay, int is a reserved word. Okay, so int is a reserved word. For example, printf, scanf, int, or many more, they cannot be used as variables. It should not be begin with number. It should not have a dollar sign. It should not have spaces between them. Okay, so it is a way of defining the variable. Int cannot be used as variable name because it has a special meaning to C. Okay, so this reserved word has a special meaning that is already known to C compiler, so it will show error. So this use is if this use is known as reserved name or reserved word. In general, any name that has a special significance of the C compiler cannot be used as a variable name. So Appendix A, C language summary, so provides a complete list of such reserved names. In Appendix A, we can see what are the reserved names, what should not be used. So you should always remember that upper and lower case letters are distinct in C, okay, case sensitive. So therefore the variable names, some each refer to different variable. So I have already told it is case sensitive. So are there any questions? There should not be because it is very basic. So your variable name can be as long as you want, although only the first 63 character might be significant, and in some special cases as described in Appendix A, only the first 31 characters might be significant. We have to go to Appendix A or not? No. We should be moving forward. So the amount of money we made this year is the amount of money left at the end of the year minus this line, money made this year, conveys almost as much information. Okay, so they are just suggesting us how to write or correct way of displaying variable without typing that much. Both are saying the same thing, so different way of writing. uh, so when deciding on choice of variable name, keep one recommendation in the mind: don't be lazy, pick names that reflect the intended use of the variable. Okay, so we should not be using random variables. It should contain any meaning or something so that it's useful. So it will pay off in debug and documentation phase. Okay, understanding data types and constants. So you have already been exposed to C basic data types like int. As you will recall, a variable declared to be a type of int can be used to contain integral values only. So this is values that do not contain decimal places. So C programming language provides 4 basic data types like float, double, char, bool, underscore bool. Okay, so a variable declared to be the type of float can be used for storing float point numbers like the decimal places. Those have decimal in them. The double type is the same as type of float, only with roughly twice the precision. Okay, so double has twice precision than float. Okay, roughly twice, not exactly twice. It is same as float. So the char data type can be used to store a single character such as letter A, single character, the digit character 6 or semicolon or a semicolon. Okay, so more on this later. Okay, so finally the bool data type can be used to store just the value like 0 and 1. You already know, either true or either false. So true is 1, false is 0. So variables of this types are used for indicating lot much theory. On, off, yes, no. Okay, in C program. Okay, 58 presents a constant integer. The character string is, it is an example of constant character. Okay, 58 is represented as constant integer. Okay, so expression consisting entirely of constant values are called constant expressions. So so that it is like this. Oh, there exists another thing that is constant expression, because each of the term is okay. So they are known as constant values if there exist any kind of alphabet present here. Okay, if there consist of any character, so it is known as constant value, and other is constant expression if it has only numerical value or constants, we can say. So the basic integer type is int. Basic integer type int. So in C, an integer constant consists of a sequence of one or more digits. Okay, a minus sign preceding the sequence indicates the value is negative. Okay, integers, we can say the value of 150, the value 158 minus 10 0 are all valid example of integer. No omitted space are permitted, no space we can left. So the value like comma separated 12 TK is not valid integer and must be written as this plain text. Two special formats in C enabled integer constant to be expressed in base other than decimal, like base 10. If the first digit of that integer is 0, the integer is taken as the expressed in octal notation. Okay, so you should have a basic knowledge of number system like octal, decimal, hexadecimal, and all. So the decimal way is like base 10, octal is base 8, and hexadecimal is base 8, I guess. Yes. So the first digit of the integer value is a 0. The integer is taken as expressed as octal notation. Okay, so if it is beginning with 0, if we are assigning a variable integer like it is beginning from 0 1, so a is a equals to 0 and a equals to 0 1 are both treated differently. So in this case, the remaining digit of the in the base 8 in C, which is equivalent to the value of 40 in decimal. Okay, so the notation 050 is used similarly. The octet constant 0177 represents the decimal value 127. So you should have a previous knowledge of number system. I guess everyone has a basic value of number system, how these are converted. So this is the octal constant. I have already told anything beginning with 0, it will take as octal notation. So 0177 represents the decimal value like 1 multiplied by 64 plus 7 into 8 plus 7 into 1, like you can say 8 to the power minus 1, no, 8 to the power firstly it will be 8 to the power 3 2 1 and 0. So 8 to the power 3 into 0, it will 0. 8 to the power 2 like 64 into 1, 1 into 64, and 8 to the power 1 like 8, 7 into 8. 8 to the power 0 is 1, so it will be 7 plus 7 multiply 1. That is how it is calculated if someone doesn't know. So character %o in the format string of a print statement in such case. Okay, so integer value can also be displayed at a terminal in octal notation. So if it is an octal notation, you should mark it as %o if you are using a printf routine. So in such case, the value is displayed in octal without a leading 0. So the former character %#o do cause a leading 0 to be displayed before an octal value. Okay, so if you are using %o, so it will not be initiating it with 0. Okay, but if you are using %#o, so it do cause a leading 0, it will add a leading 0 to a octal value. So if an integer constant is preceded by a 0, what's the time? 11. Okay, so if an integer is preceded by a 0 and the letter x either lowercase or uppercase, the value is taken as being expressed in hexadecimal. Okay, so if integer is preceding by a 0 and the letter x either lowercase or uppercase. Okay, so firstly with 0, it will be treated as octal. But if after 0 it is written like letter x either in lower or uppercase, it will be treated as base 16. So immediately following the letter x are the digits of hexadecimal, I think 0 to 9 and a to f like 11, 12, 13, 14. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 10 is represented as A, and similarly all. So the letter represent the value of 10, 15 respectively. So to assign hexadecimal value F, F, E, F0D to an integer variable called RGB color. So RGB color, it will be beginning with 0, X, F, F, E, F, 0D. F is, I have already told, it should be 15. Okay, 15 15 14 15. D should be FED 15 14 13. D should be 13. So can we use the format characters %x? Okay, so if you are using printf, so you have to use %x, display a value in hexadecimal format. So it is way of representing how you will be representing a constant. So I should be paying more attention to it. So without the leading 0x, so it is similar case, like if you are using percent %o, it will not show 0. If you are using percent %x, it will not show 0x. But if you are using hash in between, it will be specifying that in the case of octal, it will represented as, it will initiated with 0, and in case of hexadecimal, it will be initiated as 0x. Okay, so no problem. So storage sizes and ranges, it's too important. Okay. So printf color this RGB color. So and uppercase X as in percent %x or percent can be used to display the leading X and the hexadecimal. Okay, no problem. So if you are using mentioning the variable as this and using this percent hash x, so it will be beginning with 0x. But if you are not mentioning hash in between and using directly percent x, it will be it will just skip this 0x and directly ffef0. It will print this only, this string only. So storage sizes and ranges. So every value, whether it is a character, integer, floating point, has a range of values associated with it. So this range has to be with the amount of storage that it is allocated to store a particular type of data. I have already told, C is a a system programming language, and it works with memory allocation. So the range has to be the amount of storage that is allocated to store a particular type of data. In general, the amount is not defined in the language. It typically depends on the computer you are running and is therefore called implementation or machine dependent. What? Astral Foxy. I I couldn't understand your doubt. What you are saying. Can you elaborate a little bit? Is it holding backspace or it's some kind of script? What in what? What are you exactly specifying? So let's just move forward. You can elaborate your doubt if you have any. So where were we? So we were talking about size allocation, I guess. So the range has to be with the amount of storage that is allocated to a particular type of data in general. The amount is not defined in the language. It typically depends on the computer you are running. Okay. So and is therefore called implementation or machine dependent. Okay. For example, an integer might take up to 32 bits on your computer, or perhaps it might be stored 64. So you should never write a program that makes any assumption about the size of your data types. So you are, however, guaranteed. So okay, so it is machine dependent. The size allocation of the size is machine dependent. So we should not be assuming anything before. So you are, however, guaranteed the minimum amount of storage will be set aside for each basic data type. For example, it's guaranteed that an integer value will be stored in minimum of 32 bits. Okay, so minimum value is we can assume, or it is defined already that it is 32 bit. So which is the size of a word on many computers. See the table A.4 on appendix A. Let's just see appendix A first. It's chapter 8. I think we are in appendix A now. 17 chapter. Okay, what was the table? A.4. I should mention the page number. Okay, it's appendix A, I guess. And no, it's chapter 19. It's still okay. We are on appendix A. So we have to go 4.0, data types and declaration, basic data types. Okay, so these are all the data types and the meaning, but no size is mentioned as such. It's saying 4.0 or something. Let's just leave this. We will be matlab, I will be telling you when it will be needed, this need of the size. I don't know, they have mentioned it in some other thing, so I could extract it before the session. Where were we? We are lost again. Okay, so A.4 in appendix A, we will see it later. So the floating number type float. So the variable declared to be a of type float can be used for storing values containing decimal places. So a floating point constant is distinguished by the presence of decimal point. So something, some random numbers have decimal or point in them, so it will be treated as float. It can be treated as double, but it's, the size difference is there. So okay, the value is 3 point, okay, 125.8 minus 0.001 are the valid example of floating point constant. To display a floating point value at the terminal, printf the conversion character. Okay, so in case of that percent I that we are using in the previous program, we will be using percent f here, and you should be remembering this, like percent d and percent I for integers, percent o we have used in the octal, percent x we have used in hexadecimal, and now percent f in float. So the floating point constant can be expressed in scientific notation also. The value 1.7 e4, that is exponential 4, is a floating point valued expressed in the notation represented as 1.7 into the 10 to the power minus 4. So the value before the letter e is known as mantissa, that is 1.7, and where the values that follow is called exponent, that is 4. So before e it is known as mantissa, 1.7 is known as mantissa, and 4 is known as the exponent. So the exponent, which can be preceded by an optimal plus or minus sign, like to represent the power of 10 by which the mantissa is to be multiplied. So in the constant 2.25 e minus 3, the 2.2 value is the mantissa, and minus 3 value is the exponent. I think they have written it wrong here because it is positive 4 and they are written minus 4. No problem. So the value of the exponent, the constant represent the value 2.25 into the 10 to the power minus 3, because they have mentioned minus 3, and it is 0.00225. Incidentally, the letter e, which separates the mantissa from the exponent, can be written in either lowercase or uppercase. Okay, it's not it is case insensitive, I should say. So to display a value in a scientific notation, the format is percent %e. Okay, so we have to use percent %e in case of percent %f if we are specifying a exponential value. So the printf format character percent %g can be used to let printf decide whether to display the floating point value in the normal floating point notation. Okay, so if you want that the printf decide that it should be written in the exponential form or the normal form, you can just mention percent %g. So it will automatically uh, decided by printf. You should not be getting tensed or something. You can use percent %g. So this decision is based on the value of the exponents. If it's less than minus 4 or greater than 5, percent %e specific notation format is used. Okay, so they have a set of rule. Printf will not be, working on its own. It will work on a specific range, like minus 4 or greater than 5. So format is used, otherwise percent %f format is used. So use the percent %g form a character for displaying. So percent %g is, it is uh, suggested. So it produces the most aesthetically pleasing output. So a hexadecimal floating constant consists of leading 0x or 0 capital X followed by one or more decimal. So like 0x 0.3 p10. So hexadecimal followed by p followed by an optionally signed binary exponent. Okay, p in this case. So it represents the value like 3 by 16 into 10 to the power 2. Okay, p is represented as power, I guess, and 0x 0.3, it is represented by 3 by 16. Okay, so p is 10 power 10 into 2 to the power 10, because we are converting it to the decimal. So that is how it is calculated. So 2 to the power 16 to the power 10. So 2 to the power, I guess, 4 is 16. So 16 is cancelled, and it will be 64, and 64 into 3, I guess 4 3 is 12, and okay, it will be 192 exactly. So are there any doubts? No doubts. Makes sense. Everyone is enjoying the live stream, or they are practicing with me something that I have you know already about C and I have told you wrong, or in this book it is wrong, you can also point out that, because no information is 100% correct in my opinion. So everyone can put their input if they want, if they are familiar with C programming. I think I am not have enough energy to continue the session. How much time will it take? Let's just complete this. Okay, it's a long, long way. We will be doing modulus also. Let's just complete this today. So we were on. Okay, so the table is there. This was a table that I want to find. So there's a lot theoretical thing. And extended precision type. Okay, so we are moving to double now. So type double is very much familiar to type float, but it is used wherever the range provided by a float variable is not sufficient. So there exist some values that are cannot be confined in float, so we have to use double. So most computer represent double values using 64-bit and float is 32-bit. So unless told otherwise, all floating points constants are taken as double values by the C compiler. To explicitly express floats constant, append either as f or f to the end of the number. Okay, perfectly fine. If you mention like f at last, so it will be treated as floating point. So to display a double value, the format characters are %f, %t or %g, same as the float. So where are the same format character used to display a float. So let's just go to single character type, that is char. It is very basic. So char constant is formed by enclosing the characters within a pair of single quotation or double quotation also. So like single quotation a, single quotation colon, single quotation 0 are valid example of character constant. So do not confuse a character constant which is a single character enclosed in a single quote with a character string, which is any number of characters enclosed in double quotes. Okay, so these both are different thing, but can be defined as character. So the character constant, I have this \n. The new line character is a valid character constant. Okay, so even though it seems to contradict the rule cited previously, this is because the backlash character is special character in the C system, does not actually count as a character. Okay, so backlash is not counted as a character. Important piece of information for us. So in other words, the C compiler treats the character percent, not percent, it's backlash n as a single character, even though it is actually formed by two characters. Okay, so there are other special characters that are uh, initiated with the backslash character. Consult appendix A. Okay, so move to boolean, but to format the to represent this, we use %c in the printf to call to display this boolean type. So bool value is defined in the language to be large enough to store just the values of 0 and 1. Okay, size is limited. The precise amount of memory that is used is unspecified. Okay, bool variables are used in programs that need to indicate a boolean condition. For example, a variable of this type might be used to indicate whether all data has been read from a file. By convention, 0 is used to indicate the false value and 1 is in. Okay, so either true, false, yes, no, standard things. So make it easier to work with bool variable in your program, the standard header. So these are known as header, that I was calling library. These are called as header files. So that is why they are ending with .h. So standard bool.h define the value of bool, true, false. An example of this is shown in the program 6.10a in the chapter 6, making decisions. We will see it later. So in program 4.1, the basic C data types are used. Header file we have included the function name, pass the void argument, mentioned int, that int is an integer value. Okay, so int, we have defined a variable int where integer var, and we have directly assigned the value 100. Float is floating var 33.179. Similarly, this for double var, as it is going out of size, we have used double. Char for w, bool for bool variable, either 0 or 1, so they have specified 0. So printf integer, let's try to run this. Copy, it will save our time. So let's just save as data. We'll be creating a new file, data hyphen types .c. So what we are doing, we have defined everything. Let me just do one thing. Because it will read it as a new line. So let me just edit this. So first we will be printing integer var. So integer percent I, new line character, integer var, okay. Printf floating variable, that is percent %f, or you can use percent %g also. Okay, far good. Percent %e, we have used percent %g so that printf can decide how to display this. Percent %c for char and b bool. We can, and so okay, so percent %I can use micro instead of nano. Nice suggestion, but um, micro is way better. I know micro is way better. Vim is much better, but I cannot do. I can nano is matlab the most comfort thing. I know it's complicated. We can not use cursor or something. We cannot also use the shortcuts, but nano is what I am using from the past 3 to 4 years. I also try to switch to Vim, but I cannot do anything. Nano is my I should not say favorite, but it's convenient to me. Micro, I know micro. I have worked with micro, but I ought to use nano. By I don't know why. So let's try to run this. Firstly, we will be compiling data types. Okay, dot C. We'll be mentioning the output in. Let's just take data types continuously. Thanks for the session. Vim is just pain in the yes, because you have to just uh, they have a separate documentation to use Vim. So yes, it is pain, but uh, it's matlab, people find it quite cool to use Vim. I cannot do anything, but I stick to very old text editor, that is Nano, default text editor. So let's just take the okay. So return 0. I have done an error, I guess. I think there's some kind of error. The error is in return 0. Oh, I have not closed the brackets. So let's just compile this. What just happened? Is there any error or something? It's taking time. I think it's not stopped by itself, I guess. Let's try to run this. First we do ls. So I think no file is made here. GCC data types ls. Okay, now it is. So integer var 100. Okay. Double var. Okay. Floating var 33.1790009. It depends on the operating system. I have already told you that. So you have seen that we have taken 79, but it has created random strings after that. It depends on the operating system. I will tell you later why it has happened, specifically why it is printing 0009. uh, then we were using double var with percent %t, so exact will be printed here, or no, in this case percent %e, percent %g will be printing that exact, but in percent %e it is also printing extra strings like 0000 something. Okay, so character var is some single character w. Okay, bool var we have used 0. Pretty basic. Let's take a water break. Let's take a 1 minute water break. Uh, I hope I am audible. Just for fun purpose, I am creating a poll. I hope everyone answer this. Let's just see what's the response on this. I already know the response. Yeah, it's human behavior. Uh, let's move forward. So we have used the basic data types. Yes, audible. Thank you. So output we have already seen. So the first statement they have, okay, so they have mentioned everything why they have extra strings after this, extra numbers after this. Okay, so oh no, they are saying is the session is not boring. It's boring for me. I felt bored after doing this basic things. No problem. You will see the use later. Why I am just insisting to stick to basic. So the first statement of the program 4.1 declares the variable integer var. Okay, we know what it is doing. Let's just see this thing, why it is like that. So, which is assigned to floating var is actually this. In fact, the actual value displays is dependent on the particular computer system you are using. So, they are giving the same statement. The reason for this inaccuracy is the particular way in which numbers are internally represented. Okay. So inside the computer, so you have probably come across the same type of inaccuracy when dealing with the numbers on your pocket calculator. But if you divide 1 by 3 on your calculator, you get the result. Let's just do what? I have the calculator on my desk. So 1 divide 3. It's showing 0.3333. Okay, with perhaps some additional threes tacked on at the end. Uh, it has total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 threes. Okay, with the perhaps some additional threes tagged on the end. The string threes is the calculator approximation to one third. Okay, theoretically there should be an infinite number of threes, yes, but the calculator, okay, so screen is uh, short to display infinite number of threes. I hope you can see. You can. So only one vote on the poll. I thought you will enjoy. So let's just stick to this. The string of the threes in the calculator approximation to one third. Theoretically, there should be an infinite number. Okay, we have done this. So when displaying the values of float or double variables, you have the choice of these three different formats. The %f character I use to display the values in a standard manner. Okay. So unless told otherwise, printf always displays a float or double value to 6 decimal places rounded. Okay. So it will automatically be 6 decimal places like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So default is 6. So how to select the number of a decimal places that are displayed? So the %e characters are used to display the value of float or double variable in scientific notation. The session is boring. 50-50. Nice. So in the next to last printf statement, the %c character are used to display the single character w. Okay, pretty basic. We should not be going there. So type specifiers, we have new kind of data types. We should not say data types, but they are type specifiers: long, 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 short, unsigned, and signed. So if the specifier long is placed before the int declaration, the declared integer variable is of extended range on some computer system. So it depends on the computer since it is a system programming. So an example of long int declaration might be long int factorial. So this declares the variable factorial to be a long integer variable. Okay, as the floats and doubles, the particular accuracy of long variable depends on your particular computer system. So on many systems, an int and a long int both have the same range. Either can be used to store integer value up to 32 bits wide. So this was the formula: 32 bit, like 2 to the power 31 minus 1, or 21474833647. Is it like this? So 2 raised to the power 31. So 2147483648647 minus 1. Okay. So this is the up to range we can do, maximum range. Okay. So a constant value of type long int is formed optionally appending the letter L, upper or lowercase, onto the end of the integer constant. Okay, so no spaces are permitted between the number and the L. So the declaration is like this. If you want to represent something like long int, you have to mention L at last. Okay, so this declares the variable number of points to be type long int. Okay, with the initial value of this. So L will be not be mentioned in the output. It will it is just just a way of writing a long int. So to display the value of long int, so it is a bit theoretical chapter, I guess. No problem. There will be a lot of practical demonstration when we are doing exploit development in C and in assembly. First we need to do C and assembly both, then we will be, because if you see, if you are following me from the start of my channel, that is 10 days back. So I have directly started from the bandit war games. So everyone got confused what I was exactly doing. So that is why I just shifted to basics. So declare the variable number of points, okay, to display the value of long int using printf. Letter L is used as a modifier before the integer format character IOX. Okay, so I is integer, O is octal, and X is hexadecimal. So L can be used before. This means the format character is %li can be used to display a long int. Uh, Long octet can be LO, and long hexadecimal format can be LX. Okay, nice. So there is a long integer data type. So long also increased it to, I think, 32 to, it will be increasing like 64 bit. So declares the indicated variable to be one of the specified extended range, which is guaranteed to be at least 64 bit wide. Instead of single character 1, 2 ones are used in the printf string to display the okay, so instead of the letter L, two L's, okay, it's not one, it's L. So two L's are used, like LLI, LLO, and LLO, LLX, I guess. So the long specifier is also allowed in the form of double declaration as well. Long double, okay. Double also. Float we cannot. I think there is nothing like float. We can do it in int also. We can do it in int. We can also do it in double, long double, and long double. A long double constant is written as a floating constant with the letter L or capital L immediately. Okay, so after finishing the decimal part, we have to end it with capital L or small l. So to display a long double, that L modifier, the L modifier is used. So %LF displays a long double. F is okay, used in double value in a floating point notation. LE displays the value in scientific notation, and LG tells the printf to choose between LF and LE. LG is suggested, I guess. 2 votes only. I was thinking of more votes. Am I audible? Na? Is the sound all right? Screen is going good. Stream is not lagging. Can someone just confirm if everything is going all right? The quality of the stream, the quality of sound, anything that can be improved. Micro is way better. Okay, old chat. Okay, we will also see micro. Let's see. In future, I am planning to use Vim only. We can use nano AR. Pretty basic. The specify short when placed in front of int declaration tells the C compiler that a particular variable being declared is used to store a fairly small integer. Okay, from long we have moved to short. So long, short, unsigned, and signed. Okay. So variable is primarily one of the conserving memory space for to conserve the memory space. I think when we will be working with pointers and internal memory allocation and buffer overflow, if you have ever heard about memory exploitation, so then we will be using short, because the values are too short in that case. Because if you use normal int, the if you are building an exploit and you're specifying something in normal int, it's quite difficult to manage. You have to use short int because the values are too short when you are executing the time of exploit or we will talk in detail later when we are making exploits. So is primarily one of the concerning memory space, which can be an issue in situations in which the programmer needs a lot of memory and the amount of available memory is limited. So on some machines, a short int takes a half amount of the storage as a regular int. So 16 bits, okay. So there is no way to explicitly write a constant of a type short int in C to display. Short int variable places the letter in H in the front, okay, to HI, HOX, HX respectively. So shortends due to which they were converted into integers when they are passed as argument. Okay. So the final specifier that can be placed into the front of an int variable is used when an integer variable will be used to store only positive numbers. The declaration unsigned int counter. Okay. So that declares to the compiler that variable counter is used to contain only positive values by restricting the use of an integer variable to exclusively storage of the positive integer. The range of the integer value variable is extended. Okay. So in case of positive number assigned to this variable, we will be using unsigned. An unsigned int constant is formed by placing the letter u after the constant as follows. Okay, is there a problem with the webcam? No, perfectly fine. So u is used, and l, you can combine letter u and l when writing an integer constant. Okay, so tells the compiler to treat the okay, so it tells the compiler to treat the constant 20,000 as an unsigned, like positive and long, 64-bit, an integer constant that's not followed by any letter u, u, l, l, that is too large to fit into a normal size int is treated as unsigned int by the compiler. If it is too small to fit as an unsigned int, the compiler treat it as a long int. If it still can't fit inside a long int, the compiler make it as unsigned long int. If it doesn't fit there also, the compiler treat it as long int. If it fits and as an unsigned long int otherwise. Okay, so firstly, if you do not mention anything and that is too large to fit into, so it is too large, the int value of the int variable you are using, it is too large, and so it will be first treated as unsigned int. If it still not fit into it, it will be treated as long int. Then if it is still not fitting, then it will be compiler makes it as unsigned long int. So firstly it is unsigned int, then long int, unsigned long int, then long, then unsigned long. So this is the priority which you can see. So when declaring variables into to be of type of long int, short int, or unsigned int, you can omit the keyword int. So therefore the unsigned variable counter could have been equivalently declared as follow. Okay, so you don't need to mention int, I guess. So you can also declare char variable to be unsigned. The signed qualifier can be used to explicitly tell the compiler that a particular variable is signed quantity. It uses its primary in front of the character declaration and further discussed in, okay, it's chapter 14. We have more on data types. So we will be discussing, I think I should not be open this much before, because everything is covered in chapter 14 more on data types. I think I have already covered some part of this book. I know what exactly which thing will come. So basic data types for character %c, bool %i, %u, short int, short for h, unsigned short int, hu, hx, ho, int ixo. So there is nothing like unsigned or signed for specific link for that. So long int we have mentioned lli, llx, llo, unsigned long int lu, lx, lo, and if it is short int you have to mention I. If it is unsigned, you have to mention HU. But in case of octal and hexadecimal, it is same. Okay, so this is the difference. Float is FEGA again, FEGA, and long double is LF, LE, and LG. So these are the example that you can see. Like in int, it can be specified like this. Unsigned, you have to use U at the end. Long int, you have to use L. Unsigned long you have to use ull. So you can see this respectively how you can use it. You can take a screenshot if you want. 6 people currently watching. Is the session boring? 50-50. Okay, nice. Still no votes. So working with the arithmetic expression, should we cover it tomorrow? Because I guess the chapter is a bit, let me just see. This will be a bit long. This chapter will be a bit long. I think my webcam battery is also, let me just quickly see. Mm, I think the battery is off now as of such. But hmm. So I was seeing how much was left. So type specify we have done, working with arithmetic operators. A short part and around 10 pages are left. I think most of the practical things are left now. We are doing plus minus multiply. Let's just complete this till 12 o'clock. We can complete. Let's go a little bit fast. And following that, we have tomorrow we have program looping, making decisions, working with arrays, okay, data structures and all, working with function, working with structures, okay. Let's just go to that part. Can I not directly jump here? No, I cannot. So page is mentioned, na 30 page, 30th page. Okay, nice. So let me just zoom it out a bit. So working with arithmetic operations, so positive sign, negative sign, these can, you all know, these are all basic things. So multiplication, you use asterisk, slash to use divide. These operators are known as binary arithmetic operators. That is important. What is, someone can ask what are they? So you can say these are binary arithmetic operators. So has higher priority precedence, okay, precedence and associativity, I guess. So the operations of subtraction, multiplication, division, the last two operations performed in the program introduce the notion that one operator can have a higher priority or precedence over another operator. In fact, each operator in C has a precedence associated with it. So this precedence is used to determine how an expression that has more than one operator is evaluated. So the operator with the higher precedence is evaluated first. Expression containing the operator of the same precedence are evaluated either from left or right. We can read it in as appendix A. This is when we are, seeing if we want to if we want to calculate the expression from left to right or right to left, it is known as associativity, associative property of the operator. So let's see what they are doing. So comment, okay, no. Header file int main void int a is 100 and b2 and c25 and d4 int result. So result is a minus b. Printf a minus b is equals to percent I result. I think it is pretty basic. If you should I show the practical, I can copy this directly. So let me just copy the main content and I will create a new file, earth.c nano earth.c. So we'll be including the header library first. That is standard input output .h. So this library is included, and we will be mentioning that the name of the function, and we will pass the argument void and just start the program like this and control shift V and end the program like this. So they are first they are subtracting, so result is stored as a minus b. Printf, so the result of a beta soldier. Someone is playing, Lice. Someone is playing. Gosh, there's no way the link has gone there. Nice. Okay, so firstly, we will store the result as a minus b. We are subtracting, so a minus b is equals to percent I. Again, the this is used because we want the result separated, so new line characters are used. So result is stored here. So I have already told how this is working. So next is result b multiplies c. So again, simple string b multiplication c is percent I is integer. Again, it will fetch this result. Similarly for division, let's see precedence, how this will be calculated. I think firstly a multiply b, that is 200, c multiply d, that is 100, and we will be adding like 300. I guess 300 was the will be the output. uh, we don't need to change the mode, we can just do earth dot c output in the earth and just do nice. No, uh, earth. Yes, the output is 300. So this is how the precedents work. They have also this. So B into C, I guess. What was B C? B is 2, C is 25, 50, A plus A is 100. Okay, 150. So simple board mass is followed here, but you should see the precedence and associativity, how it is used. So this is a pretty basic program. We should not read this about basic thing. Attempting to divide a number by zero result in abnormal termination of the program. Even if the program does not terminate abnormally, the result obtained by such a division will be meaningless. Let's just see what will happen dividing by zero. Uh, we are dividing or not? So A divides C. Let's do C 0, and we will particularly seeing, I think, 1, 2, 3, third output. Let's see. Again compiling. ls type earth. I will tell you later why this asterisk come here, but we have to run ना. Attendance लगा दो क्या? So floating point exception. So this is third line. The program is stopped in between because we cannot just divide by zero. That is why the program is stopped in between. So we should correct it. What was the value? 25, I guess. It was 25. Yes. Control XY. We will be doing this. Nice. Nano or okay, nice. Control X, yes. No problem, I guess now. Okay, it's working fine. So we have division, seen the division by zero. We can see how can check the division by zero before the division. Okay, does not produce the result 25. So in this case, it is saying why it has not produced the result a plus b. So what was a? It was 100, b is 2, 102. Enjoy your stream. Thank you. Enjoy your night also. So 102 into 25. So simple board mass thing. So the result as, so because the multiplication has a higher precedence than positive than this plus, so that is why b into c is calculated first. So the statement is shown as 150. This is because C, like the most programming language, has the rule of order, the evaluating multiple operations on terms in an expression evaluation of the left to right. Okay, so we are moving left to right. However, the operation of multiplication and division are given precedence over the operation of addition and subtraction. Therefore, the expression this is evaluated. Okay, so in C we go left to right, but there is another rule that we have to follow for, especially for multiplication and division, that we have to give that precedence to multiplication and division firstly, ignoring the associativity. So that is why it is evaluated as B into C first, then adding A. So by the C system, this is the same way this expression would be evaluated if you were to apply the basic rules of algebra. I know that. We use this instead of this. If there is anything important, I will tell. So you will notice from the last statement in program 4.2 that it is perfectly valid to give an expression as an argument to printf without having to first assign the result of expression. The expression this happens using the GCC compiler under Windows. On Unix system, the program might not terminate abnormally, that might give 0 as the result of an integer division by 0 and finite as the result. Okay, so although they have not answered why they have, but they have given the reason that you can just follow the algebra rules. So what does algebra rules say? Like follow board mass, so bracket of division bracket of division multiplication. So we will be following multiplication. So this is evaluated as this or this. So the result is 300. Integer arithmetic and unary minus operator. So program 4.3 reinforces what you just learned and introduce the concept of integer. So let's just try to see it before. So int a is 25, int b is 2, float c is 24, 75.0, float d is 2.0. So 6 plus a divided by 5. So first we will do a divided by 5, that will be 5. 5 multiply, I think I have to open whiteboard or something. Can we do it in my mind? Like a divided by 5 is 5. We will do 5 multiply b, 10. Then we will be adding, it will be 16. So it will be equals to percent in. Okay, so percent I will be replaced by this. This will be evaluated. So it will be 16. Okay, 16. So a divide b, like 25 divide 2, it's 12 point. It will be 12, and multiply b 24. It will be 24, because since it is an integer, it will not return 12.5. So that is why it's returning 12. So when you are try to just solve this, so a divide b, let me just take whiteboard here. We are at the end of session. You should be 100% satisfied. Recently used, what was the name of the whiteboard? I forgot. Mento. I think it is Miro. Nice. What I was trying to explain here, I think I was explaining move command. Nice. So let me just quickly erase this. uh, uh, Although it is pretty basic, but we should evaluate it. What was that? A is 25, b is 2. We are evaluating a divided by b, then again we are multiplying it by b. So this is a. So a is 12. No, a is 25. This is a, and b is 2. So firstly it will see it as an expression. So what it will do, it will firstly uh, you know solve this division, like 25 divided by 2. So if you solve it normally, like if you solve it on a calculator, 25 divided by 2, you will be getting 12.5. But in this case they both are integers, so the result of both this expression will also be integer. So 12.5 will be round off to 12 somehow, because it is an integer. But if it has it has mentioned that they are float, so this will be treated as 12.5, and we are again adding something, I guess, or multiplying. So we are multiplying it with the b, so we will be getting 25. So if it is float, if all the values are in float, so that is how they will be. So if you see this output, because they have mentioned float here, so this will be 25. Yes, 25.0.0, 6 digit, up to 6 digit. So this is the basic difference. uh, I hope you understand. And I think we have solved it. Minus 25. Okay, so extra blank spaces are inserted between int and the declaration abcd in the first four statement. Okay, so to align the declaration of each value, so they are just aligning everything to just make it a bit symmetric, make the code bit symmetric. So it will not impact the output if you leave extra space, because in this case it has left only one space but in this case it is, I guess it is 3 or something. I cannot highlight it. So extra blank spaces we have dealt with it. The expression in the first printf call of program, I think they are explaining the same thing. We should not be going here. Let me see. It is, so they are saying the same thing, that 25 is divided by 2, you get an immediate result of 12, not 12.5 as you might expect. Okay, because they are integer, so integer value will be, printed. Okay, so the only question you then must answer is whether to use float double or long double. So the answer to this question depends on the desired accuracy of the numbers you are dealing with, or as well as their magnitude. Okay, so we are dealing with small numbers, we should not use this float, we should not use double or long double, I guess. 8 people watching. Okay, so 5 votes, 60%, I guess. 3 people find it not boring, 2 people find it boring, and 6 votes. Nice. 4 people find it not boring, 3 people find, no, 2 people find it boring, and add one more, that is me. I am also finding it boring now. And I guess we are ending the stream soon, because one more operator is left, that is modulus, like percent. Yes. So the next operator we have is, okay, so I think one thing is left, because we have initiated like minus a multiply b, so the output should be like minus 50, because it is, minus a we have mentioned here, so it will be minus 50, like here. So minus a into b, it will be minus 50. If it is a into b, it will be 50. First time watching this kind of lives. You ending? Yes, brother, we are ending. First time watching this kind of lives. What do you mean by that? Like it is uh, boring or something, or it is interesting or something? What do you exactly mean? If you are a first time watcher, we are just getting familiar with C programming, the basics. Uh, we are doing it for penetration testing. We will deploying our own exploits on a system. That is why we are learning C programming. This should be the most basic introduction. Interesting. Thank you. So, integer and floating point conversion. Modulus operator is left, and integer floating point conversion, I guess. Okay. Uh, small portion is left. Let's just complete this. Modulus operator, similar to divide, but it is something different. So the next arithmetic to be, I am in cybersecurity to second year college. Nice, nice. Welcome to the channel. You are visiting the channel for the first time. So modulus operator. Firstly, we have included the header file. Then we have included the name of the function and void. Just started C learn only printf. Okay, you can stick to my session. We are doing just basics. We are doing this basics. So if you have any doubt, you can ask. So we are just uh, specifying 4 variables like int. They are all int. A is 25, B is 5, C is 10, D is 7. So first, what we are doing is a uh, exclamation mark. No, this is percentage mark. Percentage found it on my recommended. Okay, pretty good. YouTube is recommending me. Nice. So a percent b, and we are just storing the result here, and we are just okay. So this is a curious case now. I should be telling this. Uh, See, we have to use a percent sign in order to calculate a mod. Basic, pretty basic. But we use percent sign in the printf to just swap the values, or just denoting a variable. So how would I, if you I want to just print this statement, how would I just print a, if you see the The output is like a%b. If you see the input, it's like a%%b. So first percent is will be treated as an input. So we are swapping the values, but it has no arguments after that. It has nothing after that. It has just percent thing. So although it will be swapping the value, it will be swapping a garbage value. So it will be just nothing. So garbage value is nothing. So it will be just written as a%b. I hope you understand. So what we are doing, we are just 25 mod by 5. Okay, it's 25 mod 5. Okay, 5 is 25, and the remainder will be 0. That is what mod do. We are doing a mod c. So a mod is represented as this percent sign. I have already told why I have used double percent, because first percent is used to specify an argument that we are swapping, but in case there is no swapping, so printf, we are just doing this so that printf should not treat our this mod sign as a signing variable. Okay, so that is why we are using two mod here. So a percent c, or a% c, should be calculated as 10, 25 will be the remainder. Okay, so a% d, like 25 7, 7 is 21, 4 will be the remainder. Okay, like now we will be calculating this. I think divide has the highest precedency, so a divide d, a divide d. So it will not be giving the answers in point. So 7 3 is 21, it will be 3. 3 multiplied d. Let's just see what does percent means in Python. It's modulo. Percent in Python is also module. It also modulus, you can say. It is also modulus. But there's a way of representing now. So in C, the printf already know in the header file, it is mentioned that printf already know that percent f, this percent, not f, this percent is used to swap the variables in order to, assigning the variable in the printf. But we have to use this percent also in the mod. So how we can use, we can add another mod, a blank mod, you can say, a blank percent sign, so that printf should not treat our original percent sign as that variable exchanging thing. So that is why we are using double mod. In Python you can use single mod, no problem. So it is a pretty basic language here. So we are calculating this. So a divide 3 d is at 25 7 3, it will be 3, multiply by d, 21 again. Do we have to calculate this first? Let's see. I guess it will be 3 7 21 plus a, it will be 46% d. 7 6 42, it should be 4, but it is 25. I think it will be calculated first. So a percent d, it will be 3. No, 3, it will show the remainder, another 7, it will be 4. It's 3, so 3 multiplied d again, 21. And yes, okay, we got it. The question was that what's percent in C, but start to understand. So for that you have to go to very basic. Let me just show you a program here. Nano ls, nano, first program. Okay, I think I have, okay, control X, nano fp.c. So it's not mentioned here also. Nano add c. I think I have to take an example, I guess. Nano fp.c. We have created a program in which we have added two numbers. Control X. Let's create a test file, test.c. We will be including the header file, include header file, that is stdio.h. We will be naming the program int main. We will be passing the argument void, initiating a program. We will be telling that sum is int data type, also defining that sum is 20, sum is equals to 20 plus 10. we will be printing one statement, uh, printf that 20 uh, plus 10 is percent I, and we will be separating the arguments with comma. We will specify sum, uh, return 0, system state to 0, closing the brackets, control X, yes, enter. Let me just compile it once. Test C, output file will be test. Okay, so okay, I have done a mistake in this. I have not ended it with semicolon. Let's try to compile it once. Return 0, expected. Okay, I have not, I have a habitual of writing the codes in Python. That is why I'm not I have missed the semicolon here also. I think this should work fine now. Okay, it's working now. Test. So what you see here, 20 plus 10 is 30. So how we, if you see the program, we have not mentioned here 30, what it is doing. So oh, I get it, you get it. So percent I is used to, just swap the value with the second argument, that the variable we have given outside. So in this case, what happens? So where were we? अरे यार कहाँ गया? Hmm, we were working on modulus now. So in this case, what it is doing, it is swapping this value with this. But what about this the modulus which we are using to calculate the expression, or which we are using to specifying the expression? So printf, by default, it is written in stdio.h that you should printf, you should treat this mod sign or percent sign as the variable exchanging thing. So we are just not giving any argument after this, we are not specifying anything and just taking it blank, and we want to print this. So that is why we are using double mod. I hope I answer your question. I think they have also given the reason why they have done this. Hmm. Printf routine take this as an indication that you are really intend to display a percent sign and inserts. Okay, so this is what they are saying. However, if it is another percent sign that follows the printf routine, takes this as an indication that you are really intend, I have an intention to print this sign, to display a percent sign, and inserts one at an appropriate place in the program's output. That is why we are writing 2% sign. So let's just leave this. We have already done this. Yeah, you did help me. Thank you. Thank you very much. As far as the precedence is concerned, the modulus operator has equal precedence. Okay, so the modulus operator and the division modulus operator, multiplication division operator, has same precedence. Okay, so this implies, of course, that an expression such as table plus value percent table size will be evaluated as table plus. Okay, so it has the same precedency as this. Is it a book you are reading? I'm not reading a book, brother. I'm just taking a reference of a book. Why would I read a book in live stream? I'm just taking a reference so that I should not have. I would have not created a presentation or something. It is easy. It's a recognized book. It's a foreign author book. So I do not have to take examples on my own. Yes, it's a book or application. It's a book. It's a book. So the name of the book is Programming in C by Stephen G. Cochin, third edition. Where were we, man? Nice. We were the end of the chapter, I guess. Floating number style float. We have done this. We have done this. Unsigned long int, unsigned long int. Okay, we have done this. Precedence associativity. We have also done that. Modulus operator. integer floating point. Okay, so this is what we were doing. Okay. So to effectively develop C programs, you must understand the rules you use for the implicate conversion of the floating point and integer value in C. So program 4.5 demonstrates some of the simple conversion. Let's just see how it is working. So we are including the header file, naming the program, giving it a argument, void argument, null argument. We can say float. We are defining. So f1 is 123.125, comma f2. So we have defined two variables, but we have only assigned value to f1. Okay. We have again defined two variables, integer I1 and I2. Why not use IDE? Use a IDE. Use a IDE. Uh, if I have a Linux and Nano is installed in that, why would I have used IDE? That is why I insist people to shift to Linux. It's pretty basic, yeah. You can just download the library GCC GDB and build essential and what was that? GCC multi library and just work on it. Why to use another IDE? That is why I keep insisting people to shift on Linux. You don't need to install anything from outside. Although I have installed some libraries, I have installed the libraries like build essential, GCC, GDB, make, git, valgrind. Valgrind will be used later in the exploit development, and GCC multilib. These are all the libraries which I have installed, and this is the command which is used to install this. I have not done any graphical installation. So int, okay, char c is defined as a. So I1 is f1. So printf percent f assigned to, so f is defined for float, percent f is assigned to an int produce percent I, that is I1. Okay, so f1 has a value, it is transferred to integer 1, then f1 again it is passed to integer 2. Okay, so percent I assigned to a float produce percent f. Okay, so in this case I think this it is wrong because uh I is assigned to a float, I2 is assigned to f1, but they are writing f1 is assigned to I2. Let's see what happened. I think it is no, it depends, but if you are writing a is equals to b or b is equals to a, let's see. So then they are doing, so let's just calculate the first output. What will be the first output? So percent f, it will be creating a random 6, it will complete this 6 up to 6 decimal places. So 1235000, I guess. Yes, assigned to int produce. Okay, so it will convert to int 123. It will remove 125. So the output will be 123.12500 assigned to an int produce to 123. Okay, pretty good. Okay, so we are defining first that int1 is f1. So it is converted already. Then they are using the value. Okay, no problem. Now we are, okay, it is right that we are assigning I2 to f1. So it will be adding 0.00 up to 6 digits. So it is minus 150, so minus 150 point triple zero triple zero. Okay, same. F1 I2 divided by 100. I2 is minus 150. It is F. So it will be like, it will neglect 5, I guess. Minus 5. F1. F1 is 123 point. F1 is I2 divided by 100. 1.5. But since it is an integer, so it will be doing minus 1, I guess. So what's the third output? Yes, it's minus 1 because it's an integer. Uh, it is showing 0.00 because we are, just validating the value to float. But first it was integer and it was calculated as integer, like I2 minus 150 divided by 100, it will be minus 1.5. But it cannot be minus 1.5 since it is an integer, so it will be shifted to minus 1 point. It will be like minus 1. But when you are denoting it as a float, it will do minus 1.6 digit 0. Nice. So we are doing I2 100.0. So divide by 100. Okay, I2. So now it will be treated as float. And it will be assigned as float only because we are dividing it by float. So I2 100.0, still it will be 1 minus 1.50. It will not, this time it will not typecast into int. It will still be float because we are dividing it to by a float and we are storing it in float. That is why it is minus 1.5 triple double zero triple zero at last. So f2 float I2, we are just converting it to minus 1 minus 150 point triple zero triple zero divided by 100. We are converting it to an integer. Okay, so it will be treated as an integer, I guess. So if it is treated as integer, we are converting it to float. Okay, we are dividing by integer 1.5, but this time I think it is denoted as float. So it will stay as float and will give you the exact value like minus 1.50, and again it will be stored to float. So it will be creating random 6 digit, not random, but it is creating 6 up to 6 digit decimal. Okay, I hope you understand this. The arithmetic that we are doing, it's pretty complicated. You have to see each and everything. I was stuck there, but it's pretty easy because they are converting it to float. It will be no, treated as float only because they are specified here. For like for in this example, it's created into integer, but if we specify float here, it will be like minus 1.0.0, minus 5.0.0. Okay, so whether a floating point, let's see this case. I have to float. Voila. The next division performed in the previous listing involves an integer, okay, the typecaster era, the typecast operator. So the last division operation from program 4.1 that reads f2 float I2 by 100, okay, typecast operator. So introduces the typecast operator. The typecast operator has the effect of the converting the value of the variable I2 to float. So it is converted to float. Up now, uh, since it is converted to float, so because the expression minus a has no permanent effect on the value of a, neither does the expression float a. The typecast operator has a highest precedency than all the arithmetic operator. Okay, so if you do float, okay, so if float has the highest precedency, then it will be calculated as float, and it will be stored as float. So it is two different thing. So calculated as float and stored as float. So if you store as float, so a number like 2, so it is 2.2.2, it is stored as float. But if you are doing something like 4 by 2 and 5 by 2, and if it is stored as int, it will be like 2. But if it is stored like 4, if it is stored like float, it will be like 2.5, because 5 divided by 2 is 2, 5 divided by 2 is 2.5, and in the float decimal is defined, so we can write 2.5. So there's a difference of calculating like float and defining like float. I fumbled a little bit because I'm tired now. I will explain this again because I know I'm getting a little bit fumbled here. So as another example of this is used to typecast operator, the expression is int 29.55. So it will create 29, int 21, it will create 21. So it will not do round off if you are just confusing it with maths. It will just leave the all the things after decimal. So because the effect of casting the floating value to an integer is one of the truncating the floating point value, the expression float 6 and float 4. This produces a result of 1.5, as does the following expression. Okay, so the both the answers will be same because 6.0 is a float, 4.0 is a float. It will be calculated as a float. So since but 6 and 4 are integers, when you do 6 divide 4 in an integer, it will show you like 1. But if you like float 6 and float 4, you are typecasting it, so it will be calculating like something like 1.5. Combining operator with assignment. Okay, the assignment operator. The C language permits you to join the arithmetic operators with the assignment operator. Assignment is equals to. So in this format, OP, okay, if the arithmetic is plus, minus, multiply, divide, percent. In the addition, OP can be any of the bit operator for shifting and masking, which is discussed later. Consider this statement: count plus is equals to 10. So this effect, so-called plus equals operator, plus equals, like it can be referred to as this, like count is equals to count plus 10, or count plus is equals to 10. These are both the same thing. So the expression on the left side of the operator and to the store the result back into the variable. Okay, so we are just storing the result again and again. So for example, count is 0. So first will be 0 plus 10, that is 10. Now count is shifted to 10. Now it will be treated as 10 plus 10, 20. So again, it's keep changing, plus 20 plus 10. Okay, it's keep changing like plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. Like first value will be 0, then 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. The expression counter minus 0, 5. So for example, this is taken as 100. So 100 is equals to 100 minus 5, like counter is equals to 100 minus 5, it will be 95. So the new value of counter will be 95. Now it will again go here, 95 minus 5, it will be calculated at 90. So the new value will be the new value of counter will be 90. It will be again calculated as 90 minus 5, that is 85. A slightly more involved expression is a divided is equals to b. Like it will be like a then equals to, then again a divide b plus c. Like in this case, count is equals to count plus 10. So first we will be going like this, then we will be skipping and going equals to, then we will go again count plus, and we will be skipping this time equals to and go 10. So that is how it is working. A is equals to a again, then divide b plus c. So type complex and imaginary. So before leaving this chapter, it is worthy to know two other types in this language called complex and imaginary for working with complex and imaginary numbers. Stream is, I have again taken the stream to 3 hours. Nice. So, so type complex and imaginary. So support for complex and imaginary is optional for compiler. For more information, look at the summary. So we will see it tomorrow. The appendix is of much helpful. So we will see it tomorrow. So type in and run the 5 program present in this chapter. Compare, okay, we have done this. Which of the following commands are invalid variable name and why? Int, calloc, char, xx. Okay, let's see. Uh, how to read this, like this or this? So which of the following are invalid variable names? Okay, so these are all variable names. Int is invalid, char is invalid. This is invalid because it is starting with a number. This is valid. This is also valid. This is valid. This is not valid because it has dollar sign. This is valid. This is also valid. These all four are not valid because they are or system defined. The meaning of these four words are already known to C compiler. The rule is we cannot initiate it with any number. We cannot not have any dollar sign. Okay, so which of the following commands are invalid constants and why? Invalid constants. Like let's see what it is. It is valid. It's also valid. It is also valid. Valid. 98.6 f. F is treated as float. It is also valid. 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 It is also valid because unsigned long. It is only long. 0 a b c d e f and l is represented as long. It is also valid. It's not valid. 197 unsigned. Okay, valid. 1.2 f. E.7 f is, I guess ef is octal. So this is valid. This is not, this is valid also. Minus 10 into exponential e minus 10. Okay, valid. This is also valid. This is not valid because 0 and long is used. Not valid. Valid and valid. 0x0g1 not valid because a b c d e f, it's till f, so not valid. Long is valid. It's also valid as constant. Okay, valid. Short, s is represented as short. It is also valid. It's not valid because comma separated. It is valid. U is represented as unsigned. Plus 1 2 3 is not valid. Any operator which is used before the number, it is not valid as constant. Write a program that converts 27 degree from degree Fahrenheit to degree Celsius C using the following formula. Let's do this tomorrow because there are lot programs. We will be doing this tomorrow and we will be starting loops. Nice. So that makes the end of our stream. Today we have two stream. One is of 2.5 hours and another is of 3 hours. So I am also quite restless now. So this marks the end of the stream. I hope you enjoyed the session. Is the session boring? 64% no, 11 votes. My god, nice. 11 votes, 64% around. Let's not calculate. 4 people have said yes and 7 have said no. Quite engaging session, I guess. So language medium which I have got response is 64% English. Nice. So it's time to end the session. Will people, if I give one more poll, will you come tomorrow? So there's another poll. Will you be coming tomorrow in the session? Do you find the session attractive? Do you want to continue the series? Because I will be continuing the series, but are you in? Yes. One vote is yes. Tomorrow we will be, I guess, tomorrow is Sunday. We will be streaming from 8:30 or 9 till 1. We will, whenever we will be beginning, we will be ending the stream 1 at 1. Today is also approx 12:30. So we will be having a long stream. Yes, obviously. So that makes the end of the stream. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed. And bye bye. That makes the end. Okay, the battery of the laptop is gone. My webcam is also gone. Okay, so it's time to charge everything. So come prepared tomorrow, revise the concepts of the C programming. You can use various website. I can tell you what you can be using. W3 School for C. So you can use W3 School for tutorials from C. They are C intro, output variables, data types. They have also many. I think they have exercises also. So you can use W3 School, and there are a lot ways of to practice. It's just the right mindset. So that makes the end of the stream. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed the session. Let's have a session tomorrow, and we will be continuing what we will be covering tomorrow. We will be doing these questions, and what else we will do. We will be completing the loops, making decision, working with arrays, working with functions. Like till chapter 8 we will be finishing, I guess, or till chapter 8 or 7 working with arrays. It will be lot, I guess. 3, 7, 8 working with structures. Okay, so because we will wind up this basic things of C programming a bit fast, because we want to move to C programming language that is bit inclined to cybersecurity and red teaming, I should say. So that makes the end of the stream. Thank you for joining. Bye bye. Good night.